What is going on, kids? I hope everybody can hear me. I hope y'all can hear me okay. We've got a special guest, and we're all going to be hanging out for hours. I am stoked. I hope you guys are. What is up, Marco? Good to see you. Angelo is in here early. Ed Harrison, brother Ed, good to see you, brother. Channel member Marco Scamma, the man, the myth, the legend, my brother. Good to see you, Marcos. We got Colby in the house. What is up, Colby? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Yeah, I just thought I'd jump in here a little bit early and we would get going. We have got a guest that's going to join us, member of the community, channel member, and overall good guy. Knives and Pizza, what is going on, my man? Good to see you, brother. Neil McKenzie, channel member, what is up? Happy Friday. Happy Friday. I'm just scrolling, trying to get caught up. There's Brother B Shady, a channel member in the house, right above the man, the myth. Brother B up himself. Joe Isabella. Good to see you, Joe. Got Colby in the house. I think I said hey to Colby. But y'all know how my memory works. Like, not very well. Lee Wolf, good evening, buddy. Good to see you, my man. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yeah, we've got Mad Yako's backstage. I told him I was just going to come say hey to everybody, and then we'd bring him up. Jim Teglifera, what is going on, channel member? And I know I get that name wrong every time. I was talking to somebody the other night who was pronouncing it for me, and they had so much more roll off the Teglifera or Teglifera. I don't know. I apologize, dude. I don't mean to butcher it. Good to see you, Jim. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Kurt Russell, what is going on? Good to see you, man. Welcome all you guys. And gals, if any of y'all are, no judgment. Mimo, what is happening? Good to see you. Good to see you in the house. And we got Sterling Stews is in the house. Welcome, Sterling. Good to see you, brother. Welcome to Friday Night Flicks. My man, Paul Mills. Good to see you, brother, and channel member and contributor to the channel, and just overall good guy. Good to see you, buddy. Who else we got in the house? We got Dang Ross. Good to see you, Dang. Channel member. Saying hey to everybody. I love it when y'all are just communicating, hanging out. That's why, and I don't know what y'all think about it. I think I've explained it ad nauseum. Or ad nauseum. Thomas McDonald, channel member. Good to see you. Good to see you, brother. Welcome, welcome, and happy Friday. Mike Snives, good to see you, buddy. But yeah, I start the live stream about 8:05 just with music because it's easier for me when I'm in a stream early and it hadn't started. It's hard for me to read the chat on my Apple TV until it goes live. I felt like if it goes live, it's early and people want to hang out and chat, it's easier to chat. That's my reasoning. Plus, I like finding weird music on this little service that I subscribe to. It also gives me my, let's find a good one. My sound effects. It's not a real green room, but as we say that, Lee, it is Mad Yako, the man, the myth, the legend, in chat quite a bit. Good to see you, Mad.
Hey, good to see you guys.
Thanks
for having me on tonight, Javon. I appreciate it very much.
Man, I'm glad you could join us for a little while, hang out and say hey to everybody and help me keep up with the chat. Pocket Metal will hopefully join us in a little while. And then I don't know what his schedule's like. And then we've got Scotch and Things who comes around sometimes and shares his Robo Stevo, what is up? Shares his knowledge on Striders and all things. I don't know if y'all follow him or subscribe to him, but he gets some of the most unique knives. Carco sent me a bunch of knives last week, all of which were very unique. 2 out of 3 were American makers, and Scotch is kind of one of those, I think, neat collectors where I see knives like I do with Carco that I've never seen before or I wouldn't be exposed to, you know? So what have you been up to, Mad?
Um, Not a whole lot today, actually. I just popped a video up there for my Friday night show and started planning some stuff for next week. And other than that, I've just been surfing the net. It's good to see all you, a bunch of familiar faces. You know, we talk to each other every day, most of you.
I
So
know it's wild. Mad, have you ever been to Blade Show or any of the local Blade shows?
I never have. It's kind of crazy. I didn't even really know that there was premium knife brands before June this year. But
No, that's
I
not crazy at all. I didn't even know they existed 3 years ago. So, no, I
right.
mean, that's not crazy, dude. That's just being being in the knife community and learning about it.
I had always heard
It
Benchmade,
was.
but that was about the only thing that I've heard of before I just was exposed to gas station knives, basically. It's what I said. I've said a number of times before is that Ohio, which is where I'm from, is kind of like gas station knife city. There's not very many knife stores. There's River's Edge in Columbus, and I didn't know they existed. So
Yeah, and River's Edge is one of my, how long have you been, kinda playing in the when I say playing in the knife game, I had a knife when I was a kid that I carried with me, a case that I still have. It's in my dad's vault with our shotguns and stuff. But I've always had a buck or had a Swiss Army knife, and early, probably in college, I collected some gas station knives. In high school, it was throwing stars and swords, but it wasn't until lockdown, probably about 3 years ago, that I really started watching YouTube content and started what I would say being influenced to buy all these weird knives that I never even knew existed. And once I experienced one, it was kinda off to the races. When did you kind of discover the YouTube knife world and some of the other brands that are out there?
it was weird. It was actually probably May of this year. I started looking around and I was like, hang on a second. I want to get myself a nice knife because I've always bought myself like a knife here or there at like local gift shops, and they have some nice, seemingly nice knives, but they're like $10 a piece. You look at them, they're like, they're all assisted. A lot of them look like the classic Italian stilettos, just kind of knockoffs of them. I would always grab one of those, and I said, "I'm gonna get myself something nice." And I start looking around on Amazon, and I found a few knives that looked kind of neat. And then I said, "You know what? I think I want something with this crazy yellow looking material." And then it said PEI. I said, "Okay, what is PEI?" It's Altum,
Right,
and
right.
and that's kind of like as soon as I knew that Altum existed, I saw the Altum Vision FG, and then Civivi was like the first knife brand that I started buying from, and then it kind of like gripped me immediately and took full hold. I probably have 50 knives now from
Do you think it
brands.
was because that is very similar. I had all assisted when I got my first knife after, the beginning of lockdown. I think it was the CRKT CEO followed by a Penguin, QSP Penguin. And I think it was the action, the just refinedness of the knives that I had been exposed to prior that made me wanna learn more and watch more content, and then, as a result, pick up a lot of knives, and Amazon's always been a great source for me. Civivi was a brand that I fell in love with early, as was Kaiser. Kaiser was big on the Vanguard series,
Mm,
which they still have now. They don't they used to have kinda 2 distinct lines, when I started. They had the titanium line, which I don't think it was called the Blade series, but I always call it that, and they had the Vanguard series.
mhm.
And I collected tons and tons of those. But, welcome to the community, dude. I mean, you're starting a channel
Thank you.
really early. That is awesome. That's what I was doing. I was gonna look for it. Keep talking about you're getting into the community or getting into knives in May, and you picked up your first what was your first PEI?
Well, what I did was I actually was looking around and I was like, something that's going to be less expensive. And I didn't even realize that it was premium steel or whatever, but I got a Kaiser Cobalt, which is black aluminum with 4V steel. And I really liked that knife, and I really liked the kind of modified reverse Tonto. So then I got that Civivi Vision FG in PEI, and I went like I just kind of dove in head first at that point. Started learning a lot of stuff. I watched a lot of videos, a lot from G Ball, obviously Metal Complex, Bees, and Neves. Um, Also, Stasa Knife Therapy. I was watching a lot of his stuff, and then somehow I discovered skiff bearings. I said those are pretty inexpensive. Ordered them. I went to try to put them into my Vision FG, and I over tightened it, and I think the ceramic balls in there are harder than the steel liners, so it dented the steel liners, making it so that I couldn't turn the screw anymore. And I wound up stripping it out, sending it back, and then buying this one. So that's
Yeah,
the Vision
that's
FG I'm stuck with now.
that is the best. I don't think I've got my FG right here. My Vision FG is there it is. My Vision FG is over in another case, but it is probably the best budget knife that I've come in contact with, and I love the Snex lock. I'm a huge fan of that lock style. Uh,
Super lock.
yeah, the Super Lock. I also picked up a Koopa Cabra, which
That's
is the
my next
tactile
knife.
turn. Um, for $249, unless you get the Lynch clip, which is $269. Magna cut, aluminum, super lock, done extremely well. Is just a great buy. And these are in stock. These are, I know
Yep.
Traditional Pocket Knife has them. I think River's Edge Cutlery has them.
And
No, what's going on, brother?
they're supposed to be 63 or 64 hardness on that Magna Cut. So
Yeah,
one of the most like surefire ways to get a good hardness from Magna Cut is from tactile.
yeah, they do a good job, and I'll tell you who else does a really good job with their heat treats. And I don't know if anybody's tested their Magna Cut, but I can only imagine it being done very well. Is TRM, Three Rivers Manufacturing. They're probably my favorite USA manufacturer. Avant-garde. If I was just looking at who's overall, I love my Hinderers, I love my Strider, I love my Medfords, but when it comes down to who's the kindest, who's the most personable, who makes my favorite, because I like slicey stuff, it's TRM. And I didn't discover them for a long time. And I'll tell you something else really odd, Matt, is when I first got into knives, I only liked manual flippers. I wanted nothing to do with an automatic. I bought a Launch 9, a little tiny Launch, because I liked the look of it early on. So it kind of migrated into my collecting, but I only liked flippers, only liked traditional flippers like this that had a flipper tab, because I could not reverse finger flick. I wasn't a very good thumb flicker guy.
That's how
But
I was too. All of mine.
and
They
that's
all have the
fine.
flipper tab.
And what's odd about it for me is I swore I'd never get into fixed blades. There was nothing there for me. What's up, Mark Parks, channel member?
Well, you pretty much ruined me on that one.
I, and I blame Lefty Kevin if for introducing me to the chickadee, which is everybody gives me the hardest time about the chickadees, which is cool. I deserve it. But I swore and held off for the longest time on slip joints, because when I was a kid, my dad had slip joints. I can remember cutting myself on one of his slip joints after I was told not to play with it when I was like 8, and not only getting a cut finger, but getting an ass chewing and probably a spanking. So I was traumatized. And
Right.
for somebody who liked folding knives that were modern, why did I want a slip joint? But my first slip joint was an Ohio River Jack, that I, for some reason, bought at like 2 o'clock in the morning, have no recollection of it, and I don't drink. So it must have been just Ambien. And I used Lefty 10. So I feel like he put some voodoo curse on me.
It probably did.
Yeah, you know,
I
he
got a few of them too. My
the head
grandpa likes
target.
these.
Yeah, they're great knives. I enjoy them, and Pocket Metal had really he's the one that made me understand not understand because I don't understand them yet, but appreciate what they are and how they're done. He helped me get my first couple of GECs, my Great Eastern Cutleries, and he put me on a couple of other brands like I forget what it's called, Massalong. Showed me a couple of sites that have good slip joints, and I bought a ton. I've given a lot away, but I love it. B Shady, I love the chickadee, buddy. But I like little fixed blades. I'm doing a video that's going out tomorrow. I haven't recorded it yet. Hint, hint. I got to do that late tonight.
I
But
do too.
on little
You got
tiny.
me you got me
Ooh,
this bad boy, and I've just been carrying it ever since I got it.
that is the Raider. We had a members only live, which I'm starting to do every Saturday at 2 o'clock until we find a time that everybody can kind of agree on. I'm happy to do it earlier Saturday, or Sunday, whenever, just as long as I'm not stepping on anybody else's toes. And the Tucson TS 150 was my first small fixed blade. My first fixed blade was the SE3 that I kind of got as a camp knife 'cause I felt like I needed it. And then I've got also a K-bar kukri,
Oh, yeah.
that I take camp and I beat the heck out of. But I absolutely love Crispy Critter. What is up, buddy? Been
That's
thinking about you, my man.
my other raider, the Marine Raider from Ontario Knife Company. That's my, favorite one to play with outside. It's huge. It's like this big.
Yeah, there's some I love the small EDCs, but like my buddy who lives in Jackson, Tennessee, who was the best man in my wedding and who used to be my guitar. We played guitar together. I don't want to cut myself. He saw my videos and he sent me this.
Oh, yeah.
This is one of those Silver Stag USA
Yeah.
made called the Big Boy Bowie. And I like to go outside. I've got bamboo in my backyard.
Love
Um,
that spiral grind on it all over.
Yeah, it's different, I wish it was more I don't know how far the tang goes, but I don't like the antler.
Mm.
It just each one's unique depending on how it's positioned, it's gonna make it feel certain ways or not feel certain ways. But dude, that TKL Raider was probably one of my favorite TKLs. I just traded hold on, I'm trying to get this put back up without cutting my iPad cord. I just traded a TKL Nighthawk, or I'm in the process. I also sent an Outer Limitless, which is a bigger one, to
Mm.
a buddy who I'm trying to trade for this knife.
Oh, that's nice looking. What's that?
Yeah, this is a Servant Knives. He's not making knives anymore, but look at that little knuckle on the pinky. See the
Oh.
little divot on it? It's like a punk, punk.
Oh, yeah.
But this is called his Mech Fighter Gen 1, his first one he ever made, G10 with G10 liners in 3V. He also made this little knife. But
Jim, you must have big old hands.
he's allegedly going to come back into the knife making game. But see this little guy? This is one of my favorite small fixies. This is a little 5-incher. But what makes this one unique is the scalloping on the contoured handles.
Oh, yeah.
And that little knot at the end where you can put a lanyard if you want to, just grips your hand. I mean, my hand, it's not going anywhere, even though my pinky's just wrapped around the back of it.
It
But
looks comfortable.
look how thick it is, and it's 3V. It's got a really thick blade.
Nice.
I sharpened it up and got it. I think it's at 19, but that's how I heard about him through Carco. And then he's just done some neat knives. And on his personal Instagram, it says he plans on coming back in 2025, 2024, 2025 and making knives again. I hope he does. But
That
again,
sounds good.
my point is keep a very, very open mind as you journey down the hobby. You'll have more fun that way. Because again,
Yeah.
and I'm kind of glad I didn't. I think everything happens for a reason. Maybe it took me a while to get into fix blades because I didn't financially need to take the burden on. Because it's one of those things that it took me a long time to learn. And have you ever met Dark Gravity or seen him when he's in a chat?
Uh-uh.
He lives close to me. He used to be come on the show quite a bit. I need to send him a invite, but as a matter of fact, he's never around in the evenings anymore. But he used to give me a hard time before I had a channel that I always had a Civivi or a Kershaw, not Kershaw, or a Kaiser or a Tucson. Bought a lot of Tucsons over the years. Great knives for the money, in my opinion. And he said, John, if you want, because he's the one that sold me my first Hinder, this little 3.0. He made me carry it to see because I didn't like it at first. He said, just carry it for a couple of weeks, see what you think. And I fell in love with it. But he told me, he said, if you would just change the way you're buying knives, if you could just do without the dopamine of something coming in every week, and instead of 8 Civivis,
Just
buy,
save up and get one thing.
get one really nice knife, right? And then build your. So it took me. I was probably a year and a half into my whole hike. I call it kind of my knife hike when I started trying to do that. Now, since I haven't been working and since I'm not able to really buy knives, I've been picking up some budget knives. And as a matter of fact, tonight our giveaway knife is very cool. I bet many of y'all haven't seen it, but it's a CJRB. It's called the Version, and it is a super slicey,
Oh, I like that forward choil.
super ergonomical, thin button lock front flipper
Right on.
that I picked up at White Mountain Knives because when I can get a knife, I'll get I picked up this and I picked up the Pyrite Bowie because I'd always been a big fan in the Pyrite series for budget knives.
Absolutely.
Again, nothing, in my opinion, has topped the Vision FG yet. I've got a knife that's very
It's not
close.
really budget.
For me, anything, and again, you're exactly right. That's a great point because it is so subjective. Brown Sugar, what's going on?
I mean,
Brandon Morrison, welcome, new member. Thank you, buddy. Where's my love?
Hey, brand new American.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you, dude. Come hang
Thanks
out
for
with us on
subscribing to Mad
Saturday.
Yako.
Come hang with us Saturday for our members live. We just kind of shoot the shit for a couple hours, and I do my best to stay focused. That's the day that I don't open any other windows. I try to just stay in the chat, and there's a lot of me not talking, which is even harder to believe when I'm just waiting for somebody to ask a question or to start a conversation. Ed saying, "Hey, Mad Yoko."
Hey, Ed.
Oh, dude, Paul, I never let them hurt my feelings because haters are going to hate. And I think they're all jealous of my chickadee collection. I missed out on a couple from Brian Ingram, a buddy of mine on Instagram, who offered me once a 3V at a very good price. And I wasn't in a position to just grab it. So I didn't. And I think he's had another one. He's had a couple of chickadees, but the one I'm dying for, and I don't know if y'all are familiar with or have seen, but I'm going to take a quick jump over to Instagram and I'm going to pull up. Have y'all seen the Hail Mary? I know B Shady has because he has one. These are Jacob Creates, who makes the chickadee, and I'll show you one of those in a second.
Those are nice looking size.
They're 5 inches, so they're a little small, but I carry them.
That would be fine.
Scout. I carry them right at my pin. I've also got a couple of pocket dropper sheaths. But it's a great little office knife, little utility knife, little cut package open knives. But these right here, I really like these. These Hail Marys. Can y'all see those?
Those are nice.
Yeah, they're a little bit bigger. If I'm not mistaken, B Shady's got one. And Jacob's making. Let's see what he's selling them for.
$260.
Is that what it says?
For the Hail Mary.
Yeah, the Hail Mary, and they're Magna Cut, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see what that one is. I mean, they're gorgeous. I think they're just the coolest. All of his stuff is full tang. Like when you take a chickadee, when you look at a chickadee, let me stop sharing. There's no blade steel marking on it. So for the longest time, I just thought, let me find one. I know I've got one that'll come out here. We'll grab everything but the chickadee.
Looks like he did have a pretty good deal going for the Hail Mary pre-orders, but those are gone.
El Cap Addict, what's up, buddy? So when you look at a chickadee,
Up,
this one's an S90V that I picked up from Honey Bear, but it
okay.
doesn't have any markings on it, right? So I'm gonna take my Big Idea Company little bit bar. I don't know if y'all have ever used one of these, but they're really cool. It keeps 3 bits in it, this thing right here.
Mhm.
And so I'm gonna push out my T10 and I'm going to pop back up my top down camera. Add it, boom. Because what I want to show you guys is this little chickadee.
Oh yeah, it's so tiny.
Very tiny. But when you take the scales off, it's got his maker's mark on one side,
Ah.
and the other side, whoops.
Oh, it says 90V
Yeah, this one is. Yeah, so he marks them all on the
underneath
tone.
the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
underneath the scale. So I thought that was cool. I did a scale swap because he sold these micarta scales on his site one weekend, and I picked them up just because I'm a knife junkie, and I had a job at the time, and was buying all kinds of shit. Had a really good job, and should go back and get another one. I'm just kind of at that age area where I don't want to go back into the corporate world. I'm just not.
I don't ever
So
want to go into it.
no, me neither. I wanna, and I do some freelance digital marketing stuff, but I haven't been aggressively doing that. Um, so Brando Picks, what's going on? My Oak City leather. I have gotten them. I've ordered 2. I've gotten 2 of them on trade, and I ordered 2 where I picked out the thread and I picked out the leather, and they came. They're in Chattanooga, I think. I'm in North Alabama, so I'm not far from them. It was inside of 2 weeks. I want to say it was closer to 10 days. Um, and they always come in a really nice little package. And I'll show you the 2 I ordered. And what's great is the 2 I traded for that made me want to get the Oak City leather slips is they were so well worn in. So
Yeah. Ototo said he likes the maker's mark underneath that chickadee handle. It's kind of like what New Breed does with the Clydesdale. Like it doesn't have any billboarding anywhere on it, but if you look, like underneath the choil is where it says
yeah,
14C, and on the inside of the lock bar, it has New Breed.
I love it. I love the way he did that. That's a great knife. I had that knife for quite a while. I did give that one. That one went in a Friday night giveaway just because I wanted somebody to experience it.
I
But
know it's crazy.
this is one that I ordered, a small one. And what's great about them is you can order them for almost any knife. This one I chose an Ulti Clip for. The other one, The other one has a discrete carry clip, which to me retain better. They don't rust as fast, but where they frustrate me, because these are pocket droppers, where they frustrate me is trying to get them out because they catch so well on your pocket with that little backwards hook, where at least with the ulti clip, you can release it and it's still a
Right.
pain in the ass to get off.
Yes.
But this one's like dark brown leather with green thread, and this one's like you can't see with the lights I've got. This is a teal blue leather. I did black hardware on both of them. You can choose your hardware finish. So you can go, I think, stainless, copper, or black. Choose your thread, choose your leather. And they've got a couple of different sheath styles. As a matter of fact, let's just take a peek.
I've been, and nothing against all of the people that make great leather working out there, but I've been trying to make my own just for my stuff.
Dude, that's awesome. And like I say, that's how Duty started, making stuff to see how he could do it. And now he's doing very, very well with it.
I like doing crafts, so no offense, all you leather workers. I just prefer to do it myself because I want to do it because it means something more to me.
Yeah, well, you want to try? Yeah, to
I
me,
still love Lancelot,
yeah,
I
Joe's
love
my boy.
Terry.
But these guys, so you can go over here and build your own stuff, or you can go, this is the V3 is the one that I've gotten. He has several different types of sheaths. He's even got one that's got, let's go to the V1. So this is the one, or the V3. This is the one that I've picked up. So you can get different clips. My Chickadee ones have this clip, which is a very good clip. You can choose an ulti clip or a discrete carry. This has got stainless hardware. So you go in here and you choose your knife.
Oh, okay.
So let's say I wanted to do one for my axial alpine. Mine's not the Warncliffe. Yeah, it is. Mine is the Warncliffe. Primary leather, I want to do gray. Secondary leather, I want to do olive. Stitching. What's that?
Does that say pubic?
Pueblo. Pueblo. And then on my clip, I can choose standard black, standard stainless, the discrete carry, or the ulti clip, or no clip if you just want it to be a pocket dropper. So I'd go to discrete carry, and then screws and rivets. You can choose stainless, brass, or black. I always go black, and then right-handed, and then you're done.
They'll probably do customs too, right? If you were to send them a knife to do it, if they don't have it listed.
I'm not exactly sure. Customize your own sheath. Maybe they just do it by measurements. Like if you knew it was close to the size of a Guardian, the leather's going to form a good bit. But they've got planted belt sheaths. They do these leather scales that are kind of neat for this giant mouse. That skeletonized giant mouse knife.
Oh yeah.
They do a scale sheath combo for it. That's pretty cool. But anyway, yeah, I mean, I think it's Edgy. What's up? Yes, Edgy says,
Hey, Shane.
do not apologize for making things. That's what we were put on this earth to do.
Well, fair. Speaking of things I make a whole bunch of Hanks. Mad Yakko Hanks.
Mad Yakko Hanks. Let me put your channel up there again for anybody who's not currently subscribed.
And you can find a link to my Hanks from there too. I sell them on Etsy. They're pretty reasonably priced.
Do you make those? Do you have a sewing machine, or do you have a computer thing that you do them with, or how do you do it? By hand?
I have a sewing machine, and I do that's like glasses cleaning cloth, so it won't scratch your knife, won't scratch your glasses. It's real soft, microfiber. And then I've got my own designs. I've got my own fabric that I choose, which is like really limited. I try to make sure it's all vintage stuff for the most part, like from the 60s or 70s fabric. And then I will take special orders too. If there's fabric that I can find to fulfill a special order, I'll make whatever you want, as long as the fabric exists.
That is awesome. So you're doing it through Etsy. How are people finding out about you?
Pretty much through my
People
channel, through Kenman's channel. But yeah, I mean, you can buy stuff through Etsy or you can just email me. My email's on my channel as well. And you might get a little bit of a better deal if you want more than one Hank and you email me. Because Etsy takes fees and, you know,
Yeah,
I just pass
absolutely.
that saving down to you.
Absolutely. Do business direct. If you know each other, do business direct all day long.
Yeah, our pal
So,
Robo Stevo here is one of my clients. I made him a few Hanks not too
what's
long
up,
ago.
bro? So, what made you decide to start a channel? When did you start your channel?
I started it end of June, early July, and the reason was because I take care of my grandma most of the time, and that requires me to be home. And I was just like, you know what, I need to focus. I just got sober, and I need to focus on doing something because I used to just spend a lot of time doing nothing and getting drunk. So I tried to devote that time back into doing something to maybe form a career, and that would be the ultimate goal is to use this as part of my career,
And
you know?
use it to kind of do what you love, and I think the fact
Yep.
that you're sober, congratulations. It's a one day at a
Thank you.
time thing, and making videos or anything that takes your mind off the downtime when the shit creeps into your head, that is awesome. Um, I wish I'd started sooner. Do it because you love it. Use it to platform what you work with, and there's no
Exactly.
telling, you know? I think you don't wanna burn out on it, so if you look at it, in my opinion, as something to be a career type thing, it could be a source of frustration if you measure it by that, not measuring it just by, I'm able to kinda put my work out there because 'cause it'll eventually grow.
Yeah,
It
no,
just
I
won't
just
come out.
see it as like a part of what I want my career to be because I've been designing knives. I sold one to Concept licensed one of my designs. So I want to be, a knife designer. I still want to make Hanks. I want to keep making Hanks and get better and better at doing that. And the channel just works as my own free advertisement method for any kind of crafts I wind up doing, and also just where I can go to platform whatever I feel like. I can talk about brands, I can talk about knives that I like, I can, potentially sell knives that I like, and make a little bit here and there from that. And YouTube itself doesn't pay me at all yet because I only have not even 500 subscribers, but eventually you just put all the things together, don't have to work for a corporation anymore, except for YouTube, I guess.
Yeah, well, work for you. That's the whole thing.
No,
If you're creating content, you're working for you. YouTube's just the platform that's taking 30% plus
yeah,
on your ad revenue of everything that you earn. So don't feel cry river for them.
and
Um,
that's my thing too, is like I just can't stand um, nothing against people that are bosses out there for companies or whatever, but I just have always had a problem with working for other people. And it's not that I'm not a good worker, it's just that I don't know. A lot of people probably have this in common with me. It's that I have a problem with authority.
a
So,
lot of times for me, it was kind of the opposite because I was a functioning addict for years, forever really, if you break it down, because I had real bad ADHD that was undiagnosed. So I kinda needed that direction, right? I wasn't a get it done myself kinda guy. Um, so I was kinda able to grow through several different jobs, not just one corporation, but into a pretty good position that was, just because I had every day things that I knew I had to do and get done. So some people, me for example, I kind of need that structure. Without it, I can be because it takes me. I'll procrastinate till probably 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock this morning before I record that video that'll go out tomorrow morning. Now I've got a
mhm.
few staged further out, but that's just one I wanted to put out tomorrow. Um, but it's a struggle. And I do it really only for the love of the knives, but it's I made the
Gotta
mistake.
love the knives.
Yeah, well, the start it's what started it was the love of the knives, but I've had love and still do of guitars and other things that I go in and out of hobbies. But the community that comes around the knives that I met long before I had a channel in chat rooms and then at Blade Show solidified it for me that I'd kind of found a tribe of people
Mhm.
kind of similar, different, God, in a lot of ways different, but the things that were similar were so attracting, whether it be sobriety, whether it be trauma, whether it be the love of knives. I just found it to be kind of my place. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
So
I agree
door
with you.
doors, the door frames have to be sturdy, but basically the doors. Be shady. That's awesome, buddy. It is.
Congratulations, Be Shady. Yeah,
I am 9.5 off opiates and about 9 off alcohol.
I'm 10 years, well, almost 10 and a half off of opiates, and I'm 6 months off alcohol.
That's great, buddy. Just for me, it's and I had it. It creeps into my head every now and then,
Oh
but
yeah.
I'm just so glad I don't have to feel like shit and lie all the time.
The
That's
greatest thing is to wake up even if you're in the worst mood ever. You're like, well, at least I'm not hungover.
at
I've
least I
got
know where
all
my
day to
car
fix
is.
this.
Exactly, exactly, and that's part of it. Well, the especially, and I consider early sobriety the first year and a half for me. Um, just to give you the weird scenario. So my marriage, I found out that I had issues long before, but when I actually copped to it was when I was in marriage counseling. And that's when I went to my first AA meeting just to kind of make everybody happy. Well, when I got in there that first night on a Wednesday night, it struck me that I was in the right place. So I kept coming back and didn't drink after that for some reason. I was a
Mhm.
rare bird on that. I guess it was just time for me. Um, but I look back at it and I would have never gone. Um, I never thought I had an issue, but coming out of that, I got kind of into a relationship, or I was starting to get into a relationship. It turned out to be about a 3 or 4 year relationship. Um, but I had never made out with a chick, much less slept with a chick sober in my life ever.
Yeah.
I thought back, I mean, I just never had. So there were a lot of things, not just that, but the raw emotion of dealing with life when you're not numbing yourself. There's a lot to recovery that people, I think, that to make the best of it, you've got to focus on those things that are underlying that we all have. Whether we're alcoholics or not, we all deal. Yeah, it's not the alcohol. Drinking is good. I think sobriety's overrated. B, I wish I was the type person who could drink a few drinks, chill out, feel good. If I could stop at 3, I wouldn't mind having 3 drinks a night. But unfortunately,
No,
I know well enough that I can't. It
I
leads to
drink it.
shit like buying cocaine and stuff like that. So I'm just not a good drinker.
I always have an end game when I'm drinking. That end game is to drink until I pass out, and at a certain point, it becomes pretty toxic. So,
And the fact that you've realized it this young, I
God,
have a
I realized it when I was 21. I'm 30 now, but now I finally figured out to actually I gotta stop now.
well, you have to ride it, right? Yeah, I hit a bottom. You don't have to hit a bottom to realize that it's not sustainable. For
Mhm.
me, the way that I decided that I had to kick opiates is I'd gone through a job change and I knew it was no longer sustainable because I was spending 130, $160 a day. So
Uh-huh.
I knew I was going to have to wean and quit because I was married with a kid who was in middle school at the time. And it was just a horrible thing, right? So I think that memory by itself is enough to keep me from jumping back in there. The alcohol, when I was dating that chick, she was, because again, it's not the alcohol. She can drink, even though I think she drinks too much, but I never said that, but she can drink and do her thing, and that's her choice. Like I told her, "You think I'll be fun drinking, but you might not. I mean, I'm not always a happy drunk, you know? It's just not for me anymore.
I
I
think a
hate
lot
it
of
because it takes the edge off. I mean, it makes social situations for me much more doable.
Yeah, that's the thing for me. It's a social lubricant, and I think that a lot of the reason I drank as much as I did was because I was trying to escape loneliness in a way, one way or another. And that was the crazy thing is once I got sober, it was like a few months before I realized that this knife community was here, but I was able to fill it with all of you beautiful people that are, my friends.
Yeah,
You drive a lot of people away when all you do is drink every day. You don't have any friends. So, you know,
well, you
I
don't
came here for the cool looking knives and then I stuck around because everybody was so great.
this is not an energy drink, Mersalt. Just so you know, this is a Crescent 9 THC seltzer.
And that's what keeps me making videos, even just the 3 videos that I've assigned myself a week. It said 3 videos a week. Make sure you stay consistent with that. You can do more, but don't ever do less. And the reason is because people are watching them. Wonderful members of our great community are watching these, and I don't want to let them down.
And that's a great pace. I started out doing one a day and feel like I need to do one a day, and that's a lot. But I don't do any editing. I don't feel like my content is quality content.
Hmm.
I'm using
I
iPhone.
disagree.
Well, I appreciate it, but I use an iPhone.
Your
And
video is the one
I
that I remade about these magnets.
oh,
It's
sweet, dude. Sweet, Saigon Kick, I don't know if you know him, but he's the one that actually told me about that and sent me the first set of scales that had them already in it for my 80/20
oh,
0.5. I'm a huge fan of that knife, by the way. I think
I
I
know.
have 4 20.5s and one 20S.
I had people say, "Oh, what? So you're happy that now it's harder to open?" And I was like, "It's not harder to open."
It's just got snap.
Like,
Brand new
I'm not gonna sit
American.
here and
True,
argue.
true, true. Health is wealth.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And I wound up in the hospital in April, and that's what stopped me drinking. Of course, I tried to drink after that, but as it turns out, when I went to the hospital, it made my ability to walk go away. So
Were
I
you
was,
having bad withdrawals in the
yeah, oh
hospital?
yeah, yeah.
Did they know what your situation was? Were they able to give you something to help you offset that? Because that's one of the
Yeah,
few things
they
that
gave
and
me
benzos,
anticonvulsants.
those can kill you coming off of those cold turkey. Those are 2
Yep,
substances, even though
part of the
opiates,
reason they
heroin,
kept me so long.
you might feel like you're dying, but you won't die. They can throw you in a jail cell and you can go cold turkey off 8 bags a day and you're not gonna die. You're gonna wish you were dead.
Oh yeah, but the
That's
thing
not even
about
what's
the
up.
withdrawals from alcohol, I didn't feel like I was gonna die, but the the professionals said I was.
And
So
that's right. Well, I mean, when you got out after you were able to transition to where you could get out, and you said you tried again, that's
oh yeah.
normal because relapse is part of it. But did you ever try to get into a program?
I didn't go to a program after that. I've been to them a long time ago, and I kind of know like the rhetoric of the programs. But the thing was, I fell and I hit my arm really bad, and my hand went numb for like 2 months. So that was just like, okay, if I get like, and I had only had,
Nightmare.
I mean, I say only, I used to drink a fifth a night. This time I had had maybe like 4 drinks, and it was making me sloppy enough so that I fell and did that. And that was because my walking hadn't come back to normal yet. And I talked like all my motor skills were gone. My speech was really emotionless and all of that, but that's besides the point. It was just hurting myself repeatedly after that. That was like, okay, it's time to stop. I'm not saying anything against programs, but my same go back to my problem with authority is like I know these people at the program. I'm not saying the program's bad, but I just didn't want to hear it.
Yeah,
I know what
and
they're
I'll
gonna
tell
say.
you, it was well, for me, it's not they are all alcoholics, addicts too, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
they've all been there, and some of them, they're probably 20 different meetings here in my area. I went to one that they held 3 nights a week, and I was lucky enough to find that group, the Unity group, and it was just, like, 8 people, and I listened. I just sat there the first night and listened and realized that whether it was a lawyer, whether it was a dude that'd been down on his luck I mean, everybody's story was the same. And what I heard time and time again is I didn't always have something terrible happen to me when I was drinking, but usually every time something terrible happened to me, it was a result of drinking or drugs, right? And
Right.
these people, I don't go back to meetings still. I'm not active in the program. I guess I'm still always active to help people.
And I
Um,
should be too. I mean, like, there's a
what I
part of
was
me
gonna
that
say,
says I need to.
it's a good even if you just go to listen, man, and again, if you go to a meeting where you feel that they're being hypocritical, that they don't suit your whatever, go they're all gonna have the same 12 steps, right? You don't have to do all 12 steps. It's recommended. Nobody that's the whole thing about AA is they're suggestions for recovery. None of them are
Yeah.
rules. None of them are, nobody's supposed to judge you, but you'll find places that are clicky and you just don't go to those meetings. At least I don't. And there's cool apps that you can get. One of them is called Pink Room, I think, and it's
Yep.
on Android or iPhone, and it'll basically scan your area and tell you where or when.
Yep.
'Cause the weird thing is they have 3 types. They'll have like a big book study, which is where you read the blue book or whatever that's
Yep.
100 fucking years old,
And
and
share.
then they do the, 12 and 12, and then they have the open with the sharing ones. I
Yeah.
like the open meetings better than anything because
I do too.
I
I
would
feel like
always
they connect the most with most people. 'Cause,
we
even new people go in those rooms and they hear somebody tell an hour-long story about all the things that have gone wrong in their life and how the program has turned that around and stuff, like, that can get through to the most callous, hard-headed people.
well, I don't know how nobody listens to Eric means this, but I was told when my therapist recommended that I go, I thought that Narcotics Anonymous would be better for me, and he told me that the programs were very similar, but Narcotics Anonymous, I would relapse because there's so much trading going on because so many people are there because they have to be.
Mm,
Um, Most meetings, they don't want you to talk about anything but alcohol. That's one of the things you say at the beginning of the meeting. My
mhm,
group, the Unity group, because I would introduce myself as an alcoholic addict. In a lot of meetings, they don't want you to ever say that. They don't ever want you to talk about other substances. Um, but hey, probably because Bill, who wrote the book,
yeah.
did a
Doctor
whole lot of
Bob?
he did a whole lot of LSD experimenting post sobriety that helped him formulate a lot of that. Google it.
Yeah, that's some weird things with psychedelics is that they just aren't really, like, addictive even to addicts.
No, they're
It
and again, they're
they're
not for everybody.
thing, but that's only for certain people because, like, for me, for instance, I had a bad trip because I shouldn't have been using them at the time, but this was 10 years ago, and I haven't gone back. I just don't use those kind of things. I think my brain's just done with them, you know?
The best remedy is 100% sobriety. If you can pull that off, and if you can learn to just live at a pace that's conducive to you, the people you take care of, your grandma, whoever else, and
Mhm,
keep your sanity and your sobriety at whatever level that is, good for you. Nobody else is here to judge, right?
mhm,
Nobody has the right to judge. And there are some of those groups that you see a hierarchy. But what I learned not only from being in the program, but from some of the older people in our group when they would make me chair meetings or urge me to, that nobody is in charge. It's just all of us here. We all take a part. We all play a role, right? Whatever that role is. If you want to step up, you can chair meetings. You can read if you want. But I would always dread going because ours were at 8 o'clock at night. I'd get off work at like 5:30. I'd be like, man, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. And
Well,
I'd
and then
always
you have a
end up
couple of
going.
hours to think about it, which is
Yeah.
not a great thing.
And I'd always end up going reluctantly. And when I'd get home an hour later, because they're only an hour, I would always feel so much better. I was always so glad that I went. And I always felt like I picked up something, experience, an empathetic feeling, just something touched me every single time.
Yeah, and that's usually how they go in my experience too. I've never had a bad experience at a meeting before. I've heard things afterwards, like when I was in rehab a long time ago, that there was one guy that wound up hanging out with somebody after the meeting and they went and had a pretty bad relapse and all of that. But it's like while I was there, it did what it needed to for me.
It happens to you. Think about it, buddy. If you got a couple of people that are on the fence and they're not leaning into the encouragement that's around them, or it's a small meeting and there's not a lot of encouragement, you're much more likely to relapse with somebody else that's willing to, make you not feel like you're crossing a bridge as much as you are.
It's two
Um,
people's addictions working together. It's like, how much more coaxing do you need if you've got somebody there literally verbally telling you that it's okay? It's not. Not for
well,
us.
well, no, and the great thing is, it's for some people, it's there again. I've always said, and I go to that girl I went out with. We'd go to bars all the time. I have no problem going to bars, going to nightclubs, going to concerts because I'm not tempted anymore. I don't know that I won't be tempted tomorrow because I'm not foolish enough to say that it's behind me, but I really am foolish enough to feel like I've kind of crossed that bridge. Um, because it's been
Yeah.
so long now, and I just can't imagine. I just don't think I'd enjoy it. I don't have a desire or taste for it.
Well, and the weird thing is, since I had a life-threatening rock bottom, I was like, I also have kind of a strong feeling that I'm not ever going to enjoy that type of thing again, but I am also pretty much convinced that there's going to be a day that I feel like it'd be totally okay, and I'll justify it in my head like, "Oh, just do it this one day, you won't ever do it again." But right now, I'm convinced that
Try to
one day will kill me.
keep up with your days because your days are enough to keep you thinking that you don't want to lose that streak.
Oh yeah.
Ron, is the
Yeah.
Golden Design Standard? Is that the one that's got the? I happen to be carrying Tri-State's Tri-Stash, and I know
That's right, Neil.
One of the Golden Design works has the button actuated frame lock like this, where this is a frame lock, but it's also a button. So the button pushes through to the frame. Doesn't one
Oh,
of the Golden
is it?
Designs do that?
Oh, it is. It's a frame lock that
Neil
pushes.
McKenzie, amen. And that's I don't know why it takes us to get to a certain point.
I
Usually it's a near
I
death
know.
experience. For me, it was several, but this is the Gold Design is an excellent knife. Did anybody get in on the new Jack Wolf? I think it was um a locking knife, the Cyclops or something, Cyborg. I didn't. I haven't been getting in on any knives, but I know there was a drop today.
There was a drop 2 days ago that I got in on. The new Kaiser Momo and S45VN with the mirror DLC.
No, you're in the right place, T Fetch. I didn't grab one. I was just asking. I don't know what else has dropped recently. I've been so, even though I look at a lot of knives, I've been kind of out of the game. Tri-State sent this for me to check out. Tri-State didn't. KC did. And I know somebody who wants to check it out who's asked, and we both messaged Tri-State and haven't heard back, and I don't know where to send it next. And since I'm responsible for it, I feel like I've got to hold on to it till I know where it's supposed to go.
What you got, Microjet?
Me? No, I've got the Tri-Stash,
Oh, okay.
the one that Tri-State EDC and Blade Binge are doing.
Gotta love Blade Binge.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I've
I used
saved
to
so
do
much money on Blade Binge.
I have too, and there's a I've done a lot of business with Blade Binge buying. I tried to sell my PMP Tianto on Blade Binge for like $200 less than I paid for it, and it didn't
Oh, yeah.
sell. And then my buddy put it on eBay because he'd seen some sell there, and it sold for like 150 more than I was asking for it.
Well, I think that goes into the
Paul
same
Coonley,
thing
what's
I was
going on,
talking
brother?
Blade Binge, is it in the LinkTree? No.
It is. I don't think they pay anything, but I think I've got a discount code. I think it's like White Mountain Knives where you get a discount. I get an attaboy. But yeah, I know you're fucking with me. I love you, brother. Still hadn't heard back
Oh,
from our
so
buddies at TS Prof. Not that I'm worried about it because my shit's hanging up fine. I might send them another email. The bad thing is, it didn't go as a normal email, so I can't forward my original email. I did it in a form. I should have saved the form in a note so I could copy and paste it because I wrote a fucking novel. Yeah, like Ron Dobbins says, hit the like button. Thanks, everybody.
I do think that that's what it is with Blade Binge, is it's all us that are on Blade Binge, and we all know what something's worth. And whereas eBay, you're gonna have the whole world looking at it, and they might pay a little more because they're
Yeah,
not seeing it every day available.
I just lost hope, that it was going to sell, and I didn't want to drop it under 300 because it was a $550 knife. I paid
Heck
five
yeah.
for it. It was a stupid purchase. I knew it when I got into it. I got it for content and to see what it was like.
Yeah. I've done a number of those.
Yeah, I started my channel. It says if you look at it that it started in 2010, but I started a YouTube channel because my daughter had 2 school projects where we had to upload videos. So that's the only thing I did until about 2.5 years ago, whenever Shane, Grateful Panic, started talking about Knives Live, which was a 24-hour live stream that we did 2 years in a row, to raise money for knife rights, Doug Ritter. I had to start a channel where I just did shorts to be able to stream. I had the 4 o'clock or 5 a.m. slot. I forget which, because there were 24 creators and it was a 24-hour stream. It went an hour each, and it was a great time. It was a lot of fun. I'd love to do it again. But yeah, it was that's when I started my channel. I don't think I did my first spoken video for a couple years ago, and don't really know why I did. I think it's because I had so many knives and I just figured I'd showcase them. And I liked live streams. I did enjoy that because I enjoyed connecting with the community. I was always in live streams chatting and just thought that, I know how much I watched people get help in live streams and I always thought that it was just a good, safe place to be. That's why I say, as
Yeah.
long as you're not hurting somebody else or being just a total ass, everybody's welcome here.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. I try not to hurt people.
Well, don't get me wrong, I get a direct message or two every week. I inevitably will say something that either rubs somebody the wrong way, is interpreted wrong, or they just don't agree with enough to send me a message. And that's fine. I mean, I get it. Everybody's different. And I try not to say anything polarizing or triggering, but I know I'm not anywhere near perfect. I'll say stupid ass shit. And it's just unfortunate, but it's just part of who I am, right?
Sure. I got a comment today of somebody basically saying that I didn't spend enough time with this knife and that my opinions were wrong. And I'm like, okay, well, thank you for your feedback. Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe I am wrong.
and that's all. I know I could always be wrong because and I know they're all opinions. A lot of it's subjective. Most of it's subjective unless there's a structural or functional problem. But for me, it's just the comments are where I'm the biggest slacker ever. But there are a couple of reasons why. One, they're overwhelming to me.
Yeah.
And two, I know because I do so many shorts. I do like 7 to 9 shorts every day, just 15-second ones.
Mhm.
And they
Be
reach a lot of
helpful.
people, and it's helpful for growth. It's not necessarily helpful for engagement, but the engagement will come with the content's quality, in my opinion. But anyway, the reach gets to people that aren't necessarily knife people. And I've seen comments that just pop up when I happen to be looking at my phone where it just shows me the short notification that are just, I think if got in my comments, it would just bum me out, right?
Yeah, I've gotten
So
some pretty horrific ones too that I probably care not to mention.
now I should get in them to, at least answer them if people are calling me out or stuff like that, but I
Yeah.
just so far I haven't, and I always apologize during live streams. I appreciate everybody commenting. It definitely helps the videos. And I do apologize for not getting in there and responding. Um, but I've got so many that I've missed. I think if I looked at it now, I think my count or something like over 3,000 missed, like, because I haven't gone in and cleared it. But it makes me kind of shake thinking about it.
Jeffrey Dawson, as the wise philosopher Billy Joel once said, "You may be right, I may be crazy." Yeah, that's in my username, Mad Yako.
I'm, I know they're usually right, and I know I'm quite crazy.
Yeah.
Um, but I think it's kind of fueled me my whole life to kind of be, again, I wouldn't be the person I was if I was anything else, but I've always been crazy. In hindsight, looking back, um, I think most people are crazy.
Well, yeah.
I
And
think it
nobody would watch
manifests
us
in
if
different.
we were completely normal.
No, well, I think it manifests in different ways, but I think we all have our, our issues.
Sometimes we're just yeah, I mean, sometimes they're completely just our issues, like paranoia and all of that.
Well,
Like,
the
it
life
doesn't affect
game.
anybody.
No, but the life game is a tricky bitch, right? I mean, it's not predictable, nor should it be, but it's just one of those things that kinda can lead to stress and, mental health issues and things like that. But I think the community is so supportive. Just what's up, Autumn Wind? Just being in chats and having the familiarity of people. What's up, Todd Carr?
Yeah, I
And
feel
and
like everybody I've met here has been pretty agreeable and friendly to me. Like, I don't think I've met one single person in the knife community that hasn't been cool.
you will. And that's
Okay.
okay. That's okay though. Because in any community, you're gonna have outliers, that are not everybody gets along, but as a whole, it's very encouraging, very uplifting. I think you won't find anybody that doesn't support sobriety and the attempts at sobriety. I think it's something that a lot of us have had experiences and struggled with. To me, and mine's very elementary, but my knife collecting was very similar to my addiction. It was kind of like an addiction. The dopamine was was I guess the goal. And you know, since one of the things great about not being able to buy knives or being in this position where I'm buying knives like I was, I've gone back and I've realized how many absolute bangers that I've had that I would just use for a week, put in the case because I was chasing something else, right? I was always chasing something else. It
I
makes it
heard you
fun.
mention that. I agree with you there because I do the same thing. Obviously, I'm going to start doing the same thing, trying to fill that gap with it. And yes, you totally are chasing a high with every new knife. But yeah, I mean, sometimes you got to take a step back and be like, I want to enjoy this for what it is. And that's also why I've been getting into doing mods and such. So I'm going to turn this colors and do some artwork on the blade because look how big that canvas is.
That's a huge blade, buddy. I bet that thing slices like a beast. Is that a Civivi?
Yeah, it's the Civivi Hid from Ostap Hell. And yeah, it's got kitchen knife geometry. So
Oh
it's
yeah, that thing I've seen that before. That is a sweet knife. The one I was going to tell you guys about that I think it's going to be in my top few budget knives of the year, but it's the Civivi X1 EX1 It's the one that they did with Brian Brown.
Oh yeah,
That looks like the little Jaeger.
I love that knife.
If you lay that knife up to the Jaeger, except for the hole, the blades are the exact same thickness, the exact same hollow grind, and it's a $53 knife. It's a fantastic knife, but the blades are literally identical.
Yep.
The swedge is better, in my opinion, than the flicking hole on this one. So Vivi just knocked it out of the park. Yeah, the fuller. What I call it, the swedge? Yeah, the fuller.
It kind of acts as a swedge the way that it kind of cuts off here.
What's up, brother? Hey, have you heard back from Stashy? I sent him a message the same day, and he liked one of my posts. And I've got the box. I've been keeping it in my pocket, ready for him to tell me where it goes. It's a great knife. I was not originally a fan, but I really enjoyed this knife. The frame lock that you can just use as a regular frame lock, or
I didn't have the money at the time.
Push the button.
There'll be waited 1 week.
There'll be some if you're interested, I'm sure. I'm sure they'll have some, and I'm sure some will turn up on the secondary for reviewers and stuff. That's the great thing about Blade Binge is you'll see a lot on there. My buddy, Knife, we'll get it, buddy. Knife Eclectic. I'll get it figured out. I don't think we'll have a problem. I would just send it to you, but with my luck, he'll flip out on me. He'll remember where it was supposed to go.
That was my luck with this one because, I didn't even know this existed, and I really liked Mark's stuff, so I just kept an eye out, and eventually he said, well, I'm not going to Blade West. He put all these up for sale. It was just like a stroke of luck.
It's a great knife. I really, really like that knife. I don't know who won it, but somebody won that one night.
Yeah. It is pretty. And I'm going to mod this one too. It's kind of the same thing of like trying to extend that because this is a great work knife, but it's also a total blank canvas for modding.
It absolutely is. And guys, if you're late, this will be the giveaway knife tonight, which is an interesting knife I bought at White Mountain because it looked interesting. It's a CJRB version, weighs 1.7 ounces, G10 in aluminum, button lock front flipper, super thin slicer. Let me get my coupon book. I don't think I've broken it out yet tonight. If you could see around my table, it's got great blade geometry, really slicey, and we'll do a giveaway later tonight on that. Somebody will win it. And then on this Mech Fighter, this got a really thick Piercy grind. I should put this on about a 19.5. Look at that slicing.
Nice.
Yeah, it's super slicey, but it's just so pokey.
Yeah, that looks like a pretty good self-defense knife.
That's what it is really its main purpose is, or a hard use like a digger, a prior, a apocalyptic knife. But I just really when Carco showed it to me, told me he was getting rid of it, I just thought, yeah, I'm a big fan in servant knives. I only got these two, but that first little knife, the Simpleton, this one here, was just such a pleasant surprise, and the fact that he's not making them anymore right now. This little guy's thick, and it's super slicey.
Oh yeah.
Do you sharpen your knives, Mad?
I do. I've got a diamond stone. Let's see, it's down here. It's one of those ultra sharp two-sided ones where it's coarse and ultra fine on the other side.
So you hand sharpen?
Yeah, I've been working on it, practicing on less expensive stuff, and now I do. I'll sharpen any of my knives with it.
Well, once you get the hang of it, I've got the one that I used to touch up with was my little work sharp field sharpener. But
Hmm.
I always thought it'd be nice to have one of those stone holders and a stone because I would assume once you learn how to feel and follow that bevel or the bevel that you set,
Yeah,
it's pretty easy. I use a fixed system just because after Kyle Coonley gave me a tutorial on how to use it, I feel pretty. Uh-oh, there's Tippy.
I would like I would like to get something like that as well. I've got one like the really cheap ones that you put it all together and you put it on the side of your desk. It's got the guided stones. I don't see any problem with it except for that you can't tell what angle it's at.
No, and I watched the thing that Outdoor 55, I don't know if you're familiar with his channel, but
Mhm.
he's got a great channel. He was talking about what he felt like were the most important things about those sharpeners, and he said the clamp, as long as the clamp, and he showed a couple of situations, he didn't say which ones they were, that held the knife firmly and some that didn't hold it as firmly.
Mhm.
So as long as you don't have any
Because you
wiggle.
get variance with the wiggle.
Yeah, yeah, as long as it's clamping good, you're in good shape. Which one,
Right.
Paul?
I think
Oh,
Outdoor
the Northern
55
Arrows.
also uses the rule of thumb when sharpening by hand.
Guys, this knife, which is completely white, this knife has gotten more views on my YouTube channel than anything. This little Nori neck axe, Midgard Messer. Check this out.
It's crazy what brings the views, isn't it?
Oh my god, dude. I can't post this without usually getting it. And I do shorts, but about 10,000 views. But it's jimped all the way around. So every bit of it's got jimping.
Most
And it,
recently, this one's gotten me the most views.
ooh, what is that? That is a gorgeous knife.
It's a North Mountain Higo no Kami, $72 with code MAD at northmountainblade.com.
Well, North Mountain Blade. I don't think I've heard of them.
They're kind of a new company. It doesn't say anywhere on their website where they're produced, but I believe they are manufactured in China and then they're sent to Seki City in Japan where they put that crazy looking finish on the blade.
Yeah, that San Mai type finish or that, what
It
do they
is
call it?
it is Sanmai, and they just kind of accentuate it by making the top misty and the bottom mirror. This thing is not very sharp at all. Um, so I need to sharpen that with like a diamond rod
Very,
or something.
very interesting knives. I'm looking at their
It's cool
fixed
looking.
blades. Yeah, Z180, ZVP 18950 fixed blade.
Comes in one of those hard cases. And they've got all kinds of new stuff coming out. Like this is
Very
their
interesting, man. That, I mean, that's a cool knife. Again, there's so much I don't see.
that's their flagship from the last generation. They've got a new one made out of M390 that is the successor to this.
And
Also,
that's kind of an American or Tanto-y drop point button lock.
yeah, and it's a hollow grind. These are all made out of ZDP Magic or
Yeah,
SLD Magic steel, and that's kind of like D2, but it's like better D2. It's got higher toughness.
I've
It's got
got a
higher edge retention. I think every time somebody hears D2, they think it's some kind of crappy steel, but that is not the case. Soft D2 is crappy.
yeah,
This is this is
Shane, Edgy American has told me have others. Good D2 is that's done well. Like Medford D2 is very good.
yeah. This is 61 HRC.
Yeah, that I've got the Max Ace Neptune that out the front that was $108 that has that SLD Magic and it's super slicey. Now I haven't.
You do have that Neptune. I was looking for that. I think that's not really easy to find.
Well, they just sell out. I mean, they haven't raised the price on it, which is encouraging.
Oh
And I
yeah,
think
it's
if you just check the
super,
site, let's
super
see if they
affordable.
have any there now.
I was gonna say
They take a
maybe
while. Now you can get whoever was asking about the Oak City leather slip, you'll get that a lot quicker than you would get a Max Ace because they do come from China and they do take quite a while.
3 or 4
Neptune,
weeks usually, yeah. I was gonna say Max Ace has some really affordable stuff too, like, what I'm most interested in would be the, Kestrel.
dude,
However, it
the
looks
last,
like the does the PEI Neptune, is it in
yeah,
stock?
they've got daggers in stock. Let me share it.
They do have a PEI Neptune.
Yeah, the dagger. And that one's out of stock. There was a different one I thought. Let's see.
If you
Okay,
click on
so
B,
yeah, so they got B. Let's see if they've got any others. Oh,
it's
let me
only
look.
118 for an OTF.
Yeah,
And how's
that's
the
what
action on that? Is that
it's
hard
very
to deploy?
stiff. It's hard for me to, retract. I have to use the side of my thumb. But no,
Okay.
in all fairness, I have to do that on almost every out the front except for, the EMP EDCs. Those are the only ones I can manipulate easily.
Have you tried the live wire?
I've not. I've heard it's great.
Okay.
But and Metal Complex said that the, Neptune was one of the harder ones.
Okay.
But yeah, that
Well,
PEI,
that
I'm
makes
telling you,
sense.
it's a great knife. I mean, it fires out. It's has very little blade wobble, and, mine was aluminum, but I would rather have PEI. And
PEI is the chemical name for Altum. Altum is a brand name.
right.
You'll come out with a flat rate shipping, paying $133 to order that Neptune.
And it's a big knife. I warn you. I mean, it is a big knife. I've got where'd I put it? I've got this Shift, which I think is a great knife.
Oh yeah.
MagnaCut USA made. But see, my thumb's not long enough to retract it this way. I have to give it a side thumb
Hmm.
like that.
I
But
think I
then
had to do that with even with the Kershaw.
on my EMPs, I can
Oh,
do
okay.
them with no problem.
That axial shift, is that exclusive?
You can get them. I know there's some DLC coded ones, and they're not that expensive for an OTF. There's some DLC coded ones at River's Edge Cutlery, I think.
Oh yeah,
But you
that's
can
where
also get them at Axial Knives. Let me see where I saw it. It might have been GP Knives. Where I shop typically when I was shopping was River's Edge Cutlery, GEP or GP Knives, and DLT. Those were my favorite retailers. Let's see. All right, I don't think it was there. I think it was GP Knives. Let me look.
I like Knife Works, I like Blade Binge,
I've
but I'll
ordered
go
a lot from Knife Works and Blade Bench too.
I'll pretty much go anywhere if I have to, you know. River's Edge had that Momo, or not River's Edge. White Mountain had the Momo.
Oh, check this out. Check this out, guys. I don't think it's dropped yet. Let's see. Or it's the
I gotta
baby
run. I'll
ban
be right back.
all right. The baby banter fixed blade coming soon. But I thought there were some shifts. That's not them. Let's go to DLT. All right. I was wrong. Maybe it was Blade HQ? Surely not. Yep. Let's try one more place. Then I'm coming back because I'm doing what. Well, I said, yeah, I'll try not to stay in the. There they are. So 269, and that's the one that's got the G10 insert. True, it is, but it's gonna be a tiny knife, Shane. It's gonna be a little bitty knife. I was supposed to be getting a knife to check out that I wanted to talk to you about, Shane, but it hadn't come yet, for me to look at and send back. A small batch. A guy is an American designer and has a custom maker who makes them by hand make these knives for him. So he made 9 of one blade shape, 9 of another. And after I look at it, I'm gonna get he and the custom maker to come on the show. And they are called Lucky Dog Knives. That is awesome, Toyotas and tools. You gonna scale it up? I know a guy over in the Baltics who can do some killer scales. Let me find him. Where is he? Where is he?
Hey, Terry.
Let me get off the Hail Marys and go to Dane and go to share. This guy makes some of the coolest mule scales, in my opinion.
Shredded carbon fiber.
They're all different.
Oh, okay.
Let's go see what's next. I think that's something different. That's he'll do some acid etchings on the steel and then he does the handles. I'll show you the one like he did this handle for this knife, which I think is just beautiful. He did the wooden handle on that.
And the mule just comes with no handle, right?
Right. The mule comes just skeletonized. Here are a bunch of mules. That's what a mule comes like on each end. And I can't blow that up. But I want to show you the one that I reviewed because it had pine cones set in resin, in green, emerald looking resin. And it was stunning. But he's done a lot for people in the States. When he was on my show, and joined me because he found I didn't know who did the scales, and he commented on the post that he did. So I reached out to him, and he had people. Here's the one I got. It's not mine. It's actually my buddy's. But can you see those scales?
Oh, yeah.
So that's like a green. Whoops! It's like a green resin
It's like
with
a pine cone.
yeah, with pine cones turned on their end, set in there, and then these are tree of life pins.
Shouldn't be that hard to find somebody to make a Kydex sheath. I mean,
No, and I think if
easy.
we Googled it, we could find it. Look at those.
Nice. 10
I
feet
mean,
core.
he does some really, really nice work. All these are his scales
Oh,
or
yeah.
his handles, but really nice guy. Next level work. I mean, and he's also a knife guy
That's
and a
true,
family
Shane.
guy. What'd Shane say? He's always got the wisdom. Shane, I can send you a link, buddy.
Nothing wrong with being a steel snob. It's kind of a curse, actually.
Somebody's got to do it, man. I'm telling you.
You know
That's
what I
Mad
like?
Yoko, Jockus. Mad Yoko. Mad Yoko. Not Yoko. What am I saying?
That's okay. Everybody calls me Yoko. It's all right.
Mad Yoko. Let me drop his channel here in the chat.
How's it going, Jacques Perot? Yeah, as far as steel goes, what I've been getting into, like I came around to that SLD Magic the second that I got it, but I really like VG10.
I've gotten a couple of knives lately that had Nitro V that was from China that I really liked. I liked it when it was on the stone, and I like the way it cuts. But I don't use my knives the way most people that really use knives use their knives, right? I'm
Same.
a open Amazon box guy, a therapeutically cut paper guy.
You know
And
what I
I know
used this for today? I opened up a packet of hot chocolate.
that's such a little tank of a knife, dude.
I
I,
know.
I open cat food with them too. That's another big use.
Yeah.
The cat food bags. And every now and then I'll cut paracord and cut rope. And if I go camping, which is a couple of times a year, I'll feather stick and try to start a fire with some of my fire starter shit, and then try to throw a spark on it with one of my ferro rods.
It's kind of like if somebody were to ask, "Why are you carrying 3 knives on you?" It's like, "Why are you wearing a $10,000 Rolex?"
Yeah, knives are I
Because it
usually
makes me
carry
feel
3.
cool.
I usually carry a slip joint that I rarely take out of my pocket, and then I'll carry a primary folder and a small fixie. Ooh, Knife Eclectic used Maximat to cut steak today. I've never owned a knife with Maximat, but I know my
Me
buddy
neither.
Dark Gravity was trying to straighten a Maximat blade, and you can guess how that went for him.
That's kind of why I'm into VG10 is because it's like a much more affordable, like super stainless. Like you can use it on things like cutting a steak with and just like not even worry about it.
There is a video I need to go back and watch that I've been meaning to watch that Rochambeau put up about S30V. And I think it was just kind of a clickbaity title, but he's been doing a lot of steel tests. I don't know how he's testing, but he's
I love Rochambeau's videos. I don't know what
have
it
you
is
seen
about
this
that guy.
S30?
Like I like him.
Have you seen the S30V is dead video? Is that a play on?
No, I haven't seen that. I saw the Magna Cut Sucks video, and I think it was M390 is dead, maybe.
But they're kind of jokey, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I thought it was clickbait, his title, because
it is.
this
He
title is stick a knife in it. CPM S30V is dead. Still snobs episode 10.
he'll kind of give a reason how it could be dead. It like in some circumstance how it could be dead, but like ultimately it's just like yeah, it's totally just trying to get you to click on it and it works.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt. I mean, that's something that I need to get much, much better at. But I always feel that I don't know. I think of it more searchable than I do clickable. And I know that the search comes from what you put in and the click comes from what the thumbnail shows.
Here's a
But
little S35 VN that I really am enjoying. That's
is
it's a
that a
VP
pintail?
pin. Yep.
Dude,
I
that's a
just
great little knife.
I love it. It's just little.
And
It's
they
fine.
they discontinued it.
I don't know why. There's a Damascus one up for sale on Blade Bench for $50.
I think why is because they were making really nice knives for a while and they are pricing them
Oh,
into the market.
they were
And then it
pricing
was
them
one of
too
those
low.
things. Yeah, well, yeah, just to get in. Knife Eclectic. I kind of like collecting steels too. I agree with that. And I know that my buddy Dark Gravity is very much that way. I like having different steels in my collection and I like sharpening different steels. But to say that I would, in a real Javon use situation, know much difference, I'm embarrassed to say I probably wouldn't. Now if I was doing stuff like Stasa was, where I was cutting 100 feet of rope and seeing how much of that 100 feet I could cut and looking at it compared to knife B compared to knife C, I would get a lot.
The only thing I can say about knowing anything about knife steals is I know what I've read about, which I think Rochambeau also has just read a lot of stuff. But also, the only way I can tell a difference in a steel is when I take it to the stone. You know, like I can just
Right.
feel a difference there, and I can't even tell you what it is about it. Like I
The way
just
it
am going off of
deburrs,
what I've read about.
for me, the way it deburrs tells me a lot.
Yeah. That process is the only way that I can tell any difference between steels.
I've not watched a lot except some of the lives, but he and I did have a disagreement. It was no big deal. It was just he doesn't have time to do shorts, and I've told him that shorts don't take me any time, and he was saying, and he had a valid point that people with shorts don't engage in long form content statistically. And my point is no, but they also don't unsubscribe, and they may start to get into long form content. You never know. As long as they're
Yeah.
watching the content, it takes me, I do 9 because I realize the 10th short will get like 70 views, and the 9th, 1 through 9 will get anywhere from 1,000 to 4,000. Shane's the one that taught me this, by the way. He'll say that I'm chasing clicks, but Shane taught me this at the Nashville Knife Show. So anyway, I do 9 either just sheathing and unsheathing videos, table down, or standing on my front porch, flicking and closing a knife. 15 seconds. It takes me all of 20 minutes because I'll copy my 4 hashtags. I only use YouTube Shorts, Shorts, YouTube Short, and Short. Those 4 hashtags, copy them, paste them, upload it, do that all in a row. And it's done just bizarre shit for my growth.
Seems like we don't have a lot of Rochambeau fans in here, and I'll say I don't care. I like him. I think he's a good presenter. And as long as you look at it and take any information he gives with a grain of salt, then it can be an entertaining time to watch his stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, some of the channels, and I, like I say, I don't watch a lot of any content because I don't have a lot of time now, but anything can have an entertaining value there as long as you know what it is. And I don't think, like I've always said, I don't think that guy in Alaska who's looking for the right knife to survive through the winter in his cabin is going to turn into YouTube to find out which one it is.
Yeah. And if you can get somebody to sit through a 20-minute video, I don't care what. I don't care what you're talking. You are success if you can get somebody to sit down and watch it for 20 minutes.
I need to get Laren's book. I just know that I've read a lot of the stuff off of the Knife Nerds or Knife Steel Nerds website, and for me, it's just and not that's key right there because that's Master Batology. I thought he said metallurgy. That's funnier. That's even funnier. But I read that stuff, and the logic doesn't make sense. I'm just a kind of a slave to what the chart shows.
Yeah, I feel like he dumbs it down sometimes too. Like like maybe he oversimplifies
I'm
some of the
not
stuff.
Kyle.
But if you just read what Laren wrote or whoever might have wrote that on that website, then if you're not good at just reading and learning from just the reading, which a lot of people are not, then you just need somebody to digest it for you.
Shading nobody. I appreciate it. It's an awesome offer, but
And
like I
if
said,
you prefer me to
it would
do it,
hurt
I'll
my
do it.
head. It would hurt my head to try to read it. And again, that's something that I want to learn about, but there are a lot of sources out there. If I want to dive into it, most of that's on the website, and then there are other sources for steals and stuff. What's interesting is I knew a guy in Huntsville. He died young of a heart attack. He was a lot older than me. I knew his son, but he was a metallurgist, and they were doing stuff for the rocket space defense industry. So he was very successful, and he used to talk about you could do so much with the metal with very little tweaking to the chemical formulation. And he was talking about the way it was heat treated in hindsight. depending on what you want that metal to do. So
Mhm.
there's a lot that I wanna learn. Mr. Eddie sent me a link to a video that I'll be happy to share out on the community page from Outdoor 55 that supposedly gives a good layman's explanation of heat treat and consistency and things like that.
I think Laren's actual videos are extremely informative, but I think he doesn't like doing that as much as actually the actual like scientific work on it. Like you can tell he's a perfectionist. He wants to make a really great video every time he makes one, but like you can tell he doesn't want to focus on that as his main priority. So he doesn't make that many.
Kyle, that makes perfect sense. Kinda like the Bible. We can all read and get different things out of it. And I think anything that is scientific and we're not the reader is not a scientist that can apply the logic that they're absorbing instead of just absorbing the logic and regurgitating the logic. Um, I think there is a difference there, but I also think that people can teach themselves and learn if you look at multiple sources and kind of get, different theories, different stuff. I agree. And that's Todd, that's how I can judge. And for me, I mean, some of my best knives, the burrs just come off at the end. I mean, they just snap off. I'm having a black currant seltzer now, for those of you who wondered. And don't let me forget that we've got a giveaway knife tonight. The little CJRB version in AARPM 9 or whatever it's called, a very confusing steel. Um,
AARPM 9.
yeah, it was I think they thought, and I don't think they did this maliciously, but I think they thought it was a what do you call it? Fuck. Powder metallurgy steel.
Mhm.
And when somebody tested it, it turns out that it's got a core, this ingot, and it's like got a coating that's powder metallurgy. So it's a kind of best of, I don't know, something wacky, but I don't think they did it maliciously. I think they just thought, they being another country putting out information that's not accurate.
Or you know how people say about Italy and their heat treats being
Yeah.
whack? Well, I think that there is reason to believe that the way that they are treating their Magna now cannot all be considered like Italians are bad at it. I feel like there might be evidence that their Magna is they stopped slacking maybe.
Well, I used to hear that they, and everybody said that the softest M390 was on the Giant Mouse Ace Biblio. I've got an old Ace Biblio that I have sharpened twice because I wanted to sharpen it, not because it needed it. But that knife has sharpened great. It feels great. The steel feels good. And I don't know if it's just inconsistencies and I've gotten lucky or if I just can't tell. But I think I can tell when I'm sharpening a knife and it burrs up evenly. The burr flips evenly and the burr comes off, in a couple of pieces. It's to me, it's telling me that something was done right. But I'm sure just as much, it's harder in any type of production scenario to treat a bunch of blades consistently, I would think.
Yeah,
I would think you
like
would run into problems there.
like those super hard Ozark trail knives. I mean, some of them are really hard, and some of them they overheat treated, and they sold warped ones. But some of them are like, much better than you would expect to get for $10. But that's because they made so many.
Knife,
How do
knife
they
is
stay
such a
consistent for cheap?
I've got a Ace Grand that's that what's it called? Vandus. It's done great. I've got the Jutland and the what's the little Grand Mini? The Atelier, or however it's called in LMAX. It's done great. I've been really happy with Giant Mouse. The only one, and my Biblio has a really strong detent, and then my Jutland has a little bit of a light detent, but it's a flipper tab too.
I know there's a MagnaCut Lion Steel Karambit for sale that I'm just trying to get people to agree with me on this heat treat issue so that I can buy it.
Yeah, it was the knife, the St. Nick's Knives exclusive that was in the Vandus. And I don't know much about those steels, but I know I've got another knife in PD number 1, which I don't know what it is, except it's a tool steel, and I really have enjoyed that knife, hadn't had to sharpen it. And then one of the first knives I bought that was an expensive knife, my second expensive knife, was a Spyderco Paramilitary 2, an S110V. I've never sharpened that knife.
You probably won't have to.
Well, I use so many different knives, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like I'm using one knife and wearing it out. And that's the true point of everything that Kyle, Shane, and the people that know about steel are saying. As long as you're buying it with knowledge, and the only way to have knowledge, unfortunately, is to get it independently, because the marketing that's coming out of those companies is not always accurate. I can remember when I first got into the community, somebody was testing steels and the compositions weren't even what they were supposed to be. And then kind of got better at making the compositions work under a spectrometer, but then the HRCs would get tested and would be very questionable. So, I think they try. I think they've got people or some way of knowing what the community wants and is saying, because they seem to produce those type of things relatively quickly, as opposed to what you might see domestically.
Right. No, that makes a lot of sense. Also, they sell these things called lead testers.
Exactly.
And I was thinking about getting one of those because I think as long as you make sure that you're doing the right process as far as like calibrating it, then you can get pretty good numbers out of it, pretty accurate.
I've heard a lot of people hate on those and totally discredit them because they're set up for thicker, bigger steel.
Yeah.
And Kyle Coonley can probably chime in and share, because I think he's the one that knew a lot about those lead testers versus the ones like Transparent Knives uses, Brian. Hey Kyle, what about those lead testers? Isn't that what that what's that guy's name? CBX or something, CBX7, who tests steel. He's Canadian, I think. Maybe not.
It's a waste of funds, Kyle says. All right, buddy. I trust you, Kyle. I won't. It's just $150 I can spend elsewhere.
That's true. I mean, 1931, that's absolutely true. I mean, it's everybody has different needs, different use cases, different things that they find sexy, attractive. And I think CBX is a douche. I agree, Palmer. Don't know him, but I heard the one-sided story when Rochambeau talked about his interaction with him about something being off. He felt that he needed to correct, and then that guy telling Rochambeau that he was just doing it for clicks, and didn't care what Rochambeau said, which, kind of douchey.
Yeah. Plus or minus 10 is a little too much of a range to even consider it worthwhile at all.
Yeah, and see, and Kyle knows, because there's something about the way that it puts the pressure on the steel that to do it on a blade.
Like it over reverbs or something?
I don't know the mechanics of it. Kurt, it's a content creator. Let me see if I can find it. And I don't have a problem with him. It's just I'm not a he's got very, very clickbaity titles. Let me see if I can find him. CB. I don't know what.
That's what I was looking up too. I don't even know who that is.
Well, and I was thinking if I got close enough, I could find it. Let me go to my subscriptions. Hold on. Y'all talk amongst yourselves while I look.
While we both go into like completely silent mode.
See, I can't see the chat when I'm in the but he had a video up just the other day.
Brian says he had Transparent Knives says he has a hardness tester that works.
Transparent Knives is the one I was saying that has the real deal, and he gets his calibrated professionally, where he keeps, kind of like you do. This is a terrible analogy, but I've got very limited life experiences. But like they do fire extinguishers at work, they come by and make sure it's good, and they do calibration checks.
CBRX.
CBRX. All right, let me find it. RX clones. Yeah, that's one of his things. Here he is.
That's also, I didn't know the name of the guy, but that's also one of the people that is a proponent to the Italian steel being a myth.
And I mean, his stuff could be pretty accurate, but he always, where is, I mean, he does real world usage stuff. He just strikes me as very condescending, but very successful. I mean, he's doing very, very well in terms of views and stuff. But
come to think of it, though, I mean, the way that he presents the stuff is kind of as fact.
Yeah, NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube.
What up, Donnie?
I think if he
Right now, I'm watching
start a video on a bike,
he's a well-respected channel.
That's douchey. I could be wrong.
That's kind of arbitrary there.
I think that's just kind of like a flag of douchey.
It kind of makes you feel like he doesn't have time for his viewers.
Not at the same time, yeah. Bless not
like,
funny. What's up?
I'll tell you guys this stuff, but I got to ride this bike. It's more important to me.
Or I'm just, yeah. And again, there's an audience for everybody, and that's what's great about it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, the community's huge. And there are people out there that don't think of a community. They don't. They think of it as just an audience, and I think that's sounds like it's just semantics, but it's not. For example,
that's a little ignorant.
Well, for example, look at somebody like Logan Paul, who
he looks at his
scams, who's done
looks at his audience as granted.
Well, and he looks at him as a source of income.
Yeah.
Right. So I think the community is not that, right? And I think there's a lot of people that are part of the community that like making videos. He might be nobody listens to Eric. I know he's accredited something. I just think he's douchey, and that's just because of the videos I've seen, and it's only because and he's good at what he does. So everybody likes different creators. I find him condescending and douchey, and he rides a bike when he's doing his intros, and I don't know.
I don't know. There's something that is said.
I'm one guy. I'm douchey. I'm a geek.
Oh, believe me, I am too. I've been told that it's douchey to have the confidence to even do any of this, so whatever.
Knives saved my lives, and I love, as much as I love chatting in live streams, I love being able to kind of talk in live streams.
He's saying you're douchey, Donnie.
Donnie, he's not really. I mean, I'm probably being too hard on him. This guy right here, and he has good content. He gets a lot of views, has great thumbnails.
And what I'm watching is his video on Benchmade Dacian, which I reviewed on my channel before I watched his video. Hi there, nice people. Hello.
But again, riding a bike, doing a video, it's just, to me, it's kind of douchey.
I was just joking, Donnie.
And I'm kind of joking too. The thing that made me wonder what is his intention comes from a third-party source, right? It was Rochambeau made that video about their conversation because he tested a knife, a Remiette or something, as being real soft using that tester that Kyle was just telling you. Yeah. And he said, no, that tests out at because I don't know who he had tested, but it tests out much higher. Your equipment's not set up for knives, and then gave him a bunch of sources. And the guy, Roll, was sharing DMs, if I'm not mistaken, said, I'm doing this for entertainment, not for science, blah, 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 something like that. And to me, that's just not looking out for giving the most objective information you can based on something that's kind of subjective, except for the way it's built and the way it put together and the way it cuts. And to be legit, as opposed to, I want to make a video that's very controversial, that's going to piss a lot of people off. Do I necessarily believe that? Or am I doing it because I'm trying to get views? Right. So if you're doing it because you've honestly got something you want to get off your chest, that's one thing. But I think there's a lot of times in the title when it's misleading. And I know that's marketing 101. That's to get somebody to click. You've got to get them to click. But I think you can get them to click by, not just saying such and such did this, or this knife sucks, and then having it not really be a knife that sucks.
Or just could be completely off base. Say the opposite of what they're trying to say.
Yeah, but everybody's got an opinion, right? And I think it's been proven that on social media, putting out information, that's true. If a guy's an engineer, he will tell you. Call engineers, just because I live in a city full of them. My grandfather was one. My brother's one. They're sexual intellects. Y'all know what that is? It's a fucking know-it-all. And they are everywhere.
Donnie, it's me, Mad Yako.
Mad Yako, like taco, like Paco, but with the Y. He's hanging out with us.
Buddy.
I haven't seen Scotch tonight. I don't know if he's on the road. And I haven't seen Pocket Metal. Let me go check my messages, see if he got back to us. Hold on a second. Because he usually comes in late anyway. Oh, they're going out of town today.
He said engineers will tell you if they're an engineer. It's like kind of like us addicts will always tell you if we're in recovery.
I only do on live streams when somebody brings it up in the chat, because I don't hide from it, but I'm not one that goes out and, talks about it.
I know.
I definitely don't try to save people. I just
it's an old tradition to tell addicts you're talking about it too much. It's like, we're proud of it.
The way I look at it, I'm still alive, which if I was still using, there's no doubt that with everything that's adulterated, the supply of what I was relying on, I would not be here.
No.
Definitely wouldn't be doing knife stuff.
No, I wouldn't be on screen, and I might not be alive.
Yeah, very possibly. Definitely would. Very might not. Very might not. Med Harrison hanging out, loving it, loving it. Do you guys want to go ahead and do the giveaway for any of you that are getting not late nighters? Let's do this. Hold on a second. Let me think how we want to do it. Y'all tell me.
Fook, shut up.
Y'all tell he's a rock star, dude. Y'all are all rock stars. Do y'all want to do the numbers game? There are about 60 of us in here, or do you want me to do the random? However it works, StreamYard picker. So if you want the numbers game, throw me a 1. If you want the picker, throw me a 2. There's a picker. There's a picker. Arshir, welcome, brother. Random. All right, we'll do the random giveaway. And again, the giveaway knife is this little CJRB. Let me pull this up. Show it to y'all real quick. Boom. Boom. So it is probably a mini bug out size knife, but it's got this forward finger choil that gives it just a full grip. Very thin blade stock, G10 handle, deep carry clip, aluminum bolsters, button lock with a flipper hole and a front flipper. And we just cut with it. It cuts very, very well. Great little knife. I picked it up at White Mountain Knives, knowing I was going to pass it on to you guys. Let me make this go away. Boom. All right. So what I'm going to do is jump over here to StreamYard giveaway tool.
I've got 6 more subscribers to go before I do a giveaway. 500 sub giveaway.
You know, I never, ever, and it's just me. I've never, ever done a giveaway announcement like for the live stream because I'm not trying to pull people in necessarily for that. But I always, I think every Friday night, I've given away at least one knife, I think.
Nice, nice.
All right, let me do that. And let me share this. So guys, this is what you're going to do, the hashtag, and put in, and you too, Mad. I want you to enter.
Okay.
So that's the name of the knife. You don't have to put a capital in there. You don't have to put anything except version, VERSION. If I misspelled it, Fook got the virgin. I love it. And guys, it's a good knife. I really like it. It's only 1.7 ounces.
And I know I got at least 5 subscribers from this stream, so I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, guys, I appreciate y'all supporting my Jacko.
I'll be around.
Are you doing live streams?
I don't do live streams like everybody else does. I'll usually do them like once every 2 weeks or so. I'll do them for a giveaway, or sometimes I'll just do them because I need community input on something. A lot of times it'll be like an hour and it'll be pretty random because I don't know if there's like a specific time that I haven't researched if there's a time slot that I can fill yet.
Howdy, Blaze on Budget. You can just find the time slot, dude. You don't have to. I mean, it's like I always said, they're always different channels. Blades on a Budget's not a mod. I've got to make him a mod real quick. Blades on a Budget, you are now a moderator, brother. You're a channel member. You should be able to post links. You are now good to go. Thank you for your support and thank you for being here and good luck. But yeah,
time slot. I know that, but there's always somebody else streaming, and that's what makes me uncomfortable. I don't want to step on anybody's toes.
Well, you're not really stepping on anybody's toes because you think about it. I've watched, and I don't know what night it is. There'll be Casey will be live. There'll be 3 other people live. Everybody's got an audience. You know, so it's just about finding a time, even if it's randomly. You know, even if you just like going random. Just go live randomly. I thought about
Yeah.
doing a random 24-hour stream, maybe starting like on my Tuesday night Insomniacs live and just running it for 24 hours, just kind of as a sub drive, doing it in portrait mode. Just to be weird, just to do something different. I don't know anybody that's done that, that's done a single 24-hour stream. I'd have to do it I think you have to do 6-hour streams, or it's 4 8-hour streams. I forget how long you can set up a stream for. But, I'd take breaks, leave the screen on and, walk off piss, let the cat in, do stuff like that. But I really thought about doing that or seeing how long I could go live without getting bored.
I've watched people's streams who do that, and
I've watched random streams that do that.
You kind of get that feeling where you like have to have something to say or whatever at all times during a stream. I imagine that's something that goes away after a while.
Yeah, well,
I might have some people leave or come back or whatever, but it doesn't really have anything to do. Like they might leave or come back anyway.
Well, and they got things to do, and they might just be listening. And as long as you're communicating with chat, if there's people in the chat, if not, if nobody's chatting at the time, like on a 24-hour stream, I would have no problem, just going through a website. I would want to have a second screen. I think if I get, it's not about getting a screen because I tried it and it flickered on me. So I feel like I need either a powered screen splitter for my laptop or something. But Angelo got version in. There are now 60 of us in here and 41 entries. Has everyone who wants in on the CJRB version need to be in the US or have a US address because it is a knife and I can't take it apart and send it in multiple boxes.
Who's Jerry Lewis?
Jerry Lewis is a famous piano playing pedophile. I say that because he married a 13-year-old. And it was acceptable, I guess, at the time. At the time, it was, he ran around with Elvis and Johnny Cash and those people. He was around that time, early Elvis. Like
Elvis was a pedophile too.
Well, I mean, they liked him young, right? I mean, that's what they were into, I guess. But in either case, I only know that because my dad, who's in his 80s now, was in high school and they had a football game the next day. They weren't supposed to go out and they all snuck. That was Jerry Lee Lewis. Thank you, Gnarly Charlie. Jerry Lewis was a telethon guy.
Oh, okay.
My
Razors, thanks for saying that. I will eventually do that.
My bad. Yeah, dude, you just need to if you want to do it. I mean, some people, I think a lot of the people that probably do the best make content that they like, that people react with. I mean, live streams are fun if you like to do them, but
I like having the control. I like doing all of my uploads to make them like, sub 10 to 15 minute videos. Make sure they're edited. That's my favorite part of it, is editing. So,
and Neil, the only reason I would do it is to see if I could keep myself live for 24 hours. I wouldn't have a goal because I thought about it earlier this year, when I started feeling that we hadn't done a Nas Live in a while, of doing a 24-hour stream, but I knew that we would raise so much less than we raised the 2 years that we did it, because we had 2 really successful years, and I want to do that right. So if I did it, it wouldn't be for super chats. It wouldn't be for anything. You just name those things. Like all the 24-hour streams that I've seen in other industries, they call them subathons. So if you...
Are we going to do that tonight, Javon? Do a subathon?
Dude, I don't know if I've got 24 hours in me tonight. That's something I have to actually plan in for. I've got these weird sleeping hours, and I start doing my recording between 12 and 1. I don't go to bed. Pocket Metal's the same way, but I don't go to bed till 5 or 6 because
I
right now I'm
know.
not working.
That's my same hour. It's
Yeah.
awful.
It's nuts. You know, it's just absolutely nuts. I can't
Terrible.
even-
Today I woke up at like 1, and then I was like, I went back and laid down for like 3 more hours. I didn't fall asleep or anything. You know how you just kind of halfway.
I wish. I mean, I think I take micro naps. I think I've got a sleep disorder where I'll like have these little fall asleep on the couch and not even know I'm asleep, and then wake up because I never sleep past 11 or 12. It's rare that I'll make it till 1 o'clock. I wish I could get 6 or 5 or 6, 7 hours of sleep.
Yeah, I would say just
Neil, we will do it, dude. I'm telling you, we
it's
could
a
do it.
shame.
That's
Sleep pills
another
will
way
kill
that we
us.
can do it, where it would keep me more engaged, is have guests that want to come every hour or come for a few hours and hang out. I can have up to 10 people join me live on the panel. Now, the issue is when you get a bunch of people on, it's hard to keep conversations jiving.
That and we talk over each other.
Are y'all ready for me to draw for this? Did everybody get version in that wanted to? We got 44 entries. I'm going to give it 15 seconds. Then I'm going to draw for the version. 14, 13.
Count
12.
me in as a guest, Javon.
Absolutely, dude. 11.
I enjoy this, and
I'll have you come back again on a Friday.
I appreciate
But
that.
we'll set it up. And I think what I might do, just because it's an off night, I think if I went Tuesday at 10:15 p.m. till Wednesday at 10:15 p.m., that would be kind of random.
Yeah, it would.
And again, I wouldn't announce it. It would just be something that I'd talk to people who wanted to join.
Thank you, Pocket Razor.
Guys, 4 subscribers to get to 500. I know there are 4 people in here that haven't subscribed. Knife Eclectic, I'd love
Only
to
4
have
of
you, buddy.
You'll all make me do a giveaway sooner than later.
All right, I'm getting ready to draw. We got 47 now, so people are still getting in. So we've got 10, 9. Oh, Michael Upchurch just got in. All right, I'll give you all a couple of minutes. Throw in your version. I'm just trying to get it done for anybody who gets out early, who does anything before Maddie. Like a version. Clicked for the very first time. This little knife has got, what I like about it, one of the things besides the really thin blade, is it's got such a long, thin blade hole that you can flip it without thinking about where your finger is. I know I can do a 24-hour stream. I feel like I could do a 24-hour stream. Now I would have to do it, like I said, I'd have to break it up either in 4 or 6 streams. But they start concurrently, right? So one stream would end and it would show that it just ended, and then there'd be another live stream that started right after it. And actually, if I committed to it and put it in StreamYard, set it up, it would broadcast it to people that subscribe, would know that it was happening. Maybe we'll do that in a couple of weeks. I have to think about it, because I do have to think about content. Ed, make sure you get in on the version, buddy. Hashtag version, hashtag version. Mark Park says you're at 500, Mad Yako. Thank you, guys.
Oh, thank you so much.
Knife Eclectic,
All right.
ADHD is a hell of a drug. My
We'll
brain
do a
goes,
giveaway.
I will start a friggin' Louis just got in. So there might be a couple people out there. Y'all jump in, throw version in there real quick, and go sub to Mad Yako. I don't want to say Yoko.
Everybody does. It's okay.
No, because we talked about it, and I know Yoko's Yoko Ono, and I know
Yeah.
Yako like a taco, so I shouldn't be fucking up.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
thank you
blame it
guys.
on my seltzers. All right, here we go, guys. Good luck, everybody. Let me get my little book out so I can write it down. And then if you guys, let me find the chat. Whoever wins, email me there. And if you email me tonight, I will do my best to get it out for you tomorrow. If you're not in a rush, you can email me over the weekend and I will get it out Monday. That's how I roll if I don't do it quickly.
My grandma's ready for bed. I got to take her to bed.
All right, buddy.
I'll see you guys in a minute.
All right, guys. Good luck. Everybody in, everybody in. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good luck, everybody. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Pretty Fly for a knife guy. Congratulations, Pretty Fly. Oh, Kurt, we did a hashtag, buddy. We'll be doing them again every Friday. You won't ever see it in a thumbnail, but you can pretty much bank on something we'll be giving away. Congratulations, Pretty Fly. That is the CJRB version. And if you, my friend, even though I know I've got your address, if you'll email me, it'll prompt me. Email me tonight. I'll get it sent out tonight. Well, get it ready tonight so it'll go out tomorrow. Or get it ready today by the time that this is over. No, we usually finish up before midnight. That's right. That is a good win, dude. You're going to like it, man. It's a great office carry. It's a win. And guys, I'll be honest with you. I have flipped a shark on the drones. Let's do this. Let's make that go down. Oh. So this is like a little $40 drone that flies all over my house. And then this is a little $30 drone that flies all over the house. And then I've got a bigger drone that flies outside that takes video. So let's see if I can find a video real quick. Let's look at the let's find one here. Do y'all use iCloud for your backup for your photos if y'all are iPhone people? Okay, I'm not going to find the one I want. There's one. Download. Boom. Let's open that. All right, let's see if I can share that. This will be interesting. Let's see if I share the screen. Window. It doesn't look like much. Trust me. Is it lagging? What's it doing? There it goes. I think this ends in a crash. I think that's why it's such a short video. I think you'll see it come down hard. No. I think it does hit the wall here. But that is drone footage from a cheap drone. It flies around. It's got 2 batteries, but it'll fly for probably 8 minutes. It's about to eat it. Where is it? How far we got? Let's go. There he is. There he is. All right, let's get a little further. Let's see if it hits the wall. Or if this is a successful landing. Nope. Successful landing. So yeah, that was exciting. But that is hey man, the way I look at it, I will always do the number game, but I think the knives just kind of find their homes, you know. That's why I give them away. Most of these, like this one, this is a Javon purchase. I bought that bad boy. I used Javon 10. Got a 10% discount. I want to say it came out to be about $45, something like that. Kind of gives me a Fair and Forge vibe, but the choil is just banging. And it is so light. It'll make a good one. It'll make a good one. I need to keep my eyes down here for Mad Yako when he gets grandma to sleep. Ed, what's up? Oh, to fly those drones? Dude, have you seen the videos of that young guy who's like 18, who's got more recorded kills, I think, than any drone pilot in history, who's sitting in some freaking bunker over in Ukraine just wreaking havoc on the opposition? I think most of those people that are flying those are kids. And it's amazing. I mean, I think if you were going to do it, like me, for me, who's a sissy, I would love to be able to fly drones. But I've crashed them pretty hardcore. But I've gotten to where I think all of them control kind of the same way. All the two little ones and the big one that I have all control the same way. The difference is the big one, like if you're flying it and you want to turn it and have it come back, it has more momentum to carry it into the wall or the tree. Where the little ones, you can spin them around and they'll almost stop on a dime because they're not carrying much weight. But they're badass. I would recommend these little tiny ones to anybody because, again, for flying them inside. Oh, y'all are lucky I don't have my controller over here. But you just pair it up. It weighs maybe, I don't know, a couple of ounces. So it's not going to tear anything up in your house. Now, I did have this one fly into my beard and get all jacked up in my beard. I had to cut it out. That was kind of a pain in the ass. Brand New American, I know the feeling, buddy. I picked up a CJRB and this little CJRB. The other one I got that I'm going to give away on a future Friday Night Flicks is that Pyrite Bowie. Now, I sharpened that knife. It's sharpened great. It is slicey as it can be. I got the one with the rose gold. Jim Miller and I were talking about it, if it would hold up, you know, what that finish would look like under it. And I've run it through wood. I've run it through cardboard, a ton of cardboard. It's just a really good knife. I think I got it on sale at Amazon for $45. Isn't it? It's hundreds of Russians. Edgy, you know who I'm talking about? The drone operator. I mean, I think that the technology is amazing because I've seen footage not only from the drones, but there was a picture of him like sitting back in a bunker somewhere with his freaking joystick in his hand, which is gangster. I mean, to me, that's just gangster as you'd ever want to be. I mean, because to me, that would strike fear in the heart of the enemy, and you're doing your best to level the playing field. Arshier, I don't know. I just saw, and he probably did, because I just saw a YouTube thumbnail on my home screen about it or something, and I didn't click on it. But it could have been that. And I've seen several documentaries or exposés on America's drone program, and they've got a lot of video game kids flying those too. You know, what's wild is they're flying those from here over to wherever the theater is. So they're in America flying drones. Again, gangster as fuck, badass. And I've heard they've got some of those little dogs, those robotic dogs over in the theater. True, blessed knives. It is cold, and gangster is not. It's you gotta see it, feel it, and smell it to be more gangster. You're right. And I'm not for any conflict at all. You know, I think that's crazy. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure Russia's got killer drones. I mean, drones are. Think about how much each one of those costs. What's wild is I always thought drones, and I know there are all kinds, but I always thought they delivered a payload, which I know some of them carry and something and deliver it, right? But the video I've seen looks like these little drones fly into shit. The $40 one, I'll show it to you on Amazon. Hold on. Let me find it in my recently bought shit. And what's cool about it is it comes with extra props. I haven't used them yet, but I've wrecked it enough to where I'm seeing where. Let's go to my orders. Let's go to that drone. It is, that's not it. That's the one that I got that was a small one that was shitty that I returned for that little bitty one. Here it is. It's a Redry. This one right here. It's on sale. But it's only got 1,080. As they get more expensive, there are a lot that have 4Ks. But this one comes with, whoops. This one comes with, why is it not scrolling? What the fuck? On the page not scrolling. There we go. Comes with 2 batteries. Comes with a camera that's already mounted in it. I don't know why they show a picture of it. And then you can set your phone on this clamp so you can see things in real time. I don't do that. You can also control it from your phone. I don't do that. I set my phone down on the ground and just push record and then fly it if I want to take video of shit. But the last few times I've been flying it, and then once you get into this rabbit hole on Amazon and start looking at drones, you'll see that there are tons and tons of options. I mean, here's one for $29. It's got a 720 camera, but there's one in here. Here's that little guy that I was just showing y'all. That's a winner. Edgy, how are you liking your respirator, buddy? I noticed the other night you were wearing it. It looks like it's not fogging up or anything. I hope it's comfortable for you. I know you got to come out of it and breathe every now and then. Oh, he's back. I don't know how long he's been back. Sorry, Mad.
Hey.
I took you down while you were gone, and then
No, I just got back.
Good. So, Edgy, have you been enjoying your respirator, or are you finding it you have less crap in your lungs when you get home?
I need to do that too.
Good. It looks like it fits well.
Respirator, is that The thing for when you work on blades, Shane?
Blades and handles, all that stuff that kicks up dust. One more cycling frog before we go see said Stevie, which is a black currant THC seltzer.
You know how much those Starbucks drinks cost?
$4.69. Oh,
I just started making my own. My own Frappuccino.
oh, dude, that's the way to go.
It takes
That's the way to go. I drank one of them before I came, but I realized if you're looking for energy, the Celsius, which is the sparkling ones, they kind of taste like shit. I kind of like the grape ones, but they have 200 milligrams, or they've got a lot more caffeine than the Starbucks do.
Well,
And
you and me can both probably attest that caffeine itself doesn't really get us going, right? With ADHD, it's more like relaxing.
I used to drink 6 Red Bulls a day, to where I'd go when I'd be traveling. I would go the night before, so I'd have them in my room the next morning. And I could drink one before bed.
I know.
Yeah, I love the face that it was. I liked that it had the full shield, because I've seen the ones that we had at the cabinet shop were just the full respirators around the face, and then they would wear safety glasses. So that looks like it's an extra layer of protection.
Donnie, the coffee I am drinking, I just made out of sweetened condensed milk, caramel syrup, and some hot cocoa mix. And it's like, what's that brand of coffee? Black Rifle Coffee.
How much coffee did you put in it? Enough to make it kick?
Yeah, it's probably got four shots of espresso in that cup.
Sweet. Yeah, for some reason, and the Starbucks, which I buy the ones that are canned, which I'm not a big supporter of Starbucks, but I guess I am when I buy those. But these right here, these double energies that have all the B complexes and all that shit in them, kind of like an energy drink. But they don't do it for me. They don't give me any kick at all.
This doesn't really either. I mean, like Merceau said, it's a milkshake. But it's good.
RC, I think both. I think they're drones that definitely do intel, and they're drones that carry payloads and deliver them, and they're drones that are a payload themselves. What's up, said Stevie?
Stevie, I hope you don't mind, but I forced myself into the Fork Club.
Let me see when Stevie's going live. I always forget because their time's different. Let's see. Stevie, when are you going live, brother? When said faction, it's like an hour. I think we go for 3 hours, and then there's like 45 minutes before Stevie goes live. I think that's how it works. Or tell me if y'all are going live sooner. We still got 20 minutes or so.
Oh, sure. I got it on Etsy from a German seller. Somebody who makes a bunch of Swiss Army knife mods or scales.
Ooh, I just failed my bulldog. This is a great little knife. If you like small knives, which I don't think many of y'all are probably in the small knife category. I've got a medium large size hand. I think I measured it. It's 3.5 inches across there.
It's in 20 minutes on Matisfaction's channel.
10:15 p.m., which is 12:15. Yeah, we'll be done, and over there with you guys. I'm not going. I do need to put up my logo though, just to make sure. This is my first. Let me get the scene set. And now let me get my Mexican pizza logo. Now we're good. Drop your link in there, Matt. Find your link and drop it in the chat.
Okay.
That's why I make all you guys, when I know you, mods, so you can share your links to where your stuff is, to where your content is. My favorite, Spider-Co.
Here's my link for Hanks. I got a whole bag of them that I keep in this thing that keeps them from getting any smells on them. But I'm also going to be starting to make these Ohio State Hanks.
Oh, sweet. So are you close to the tri-state area?
I'm close to a tri-state area. I am north. I'm near Michigan.
I got you. And again, what's up, Maddie?
I also used a hang to make this prototype, like a knife pouch.
Very cool. One of my cherished possessions is one of Forrest's early bags that he made for my slingshot balls. Yeah. A little bag that I keep slingshot balls in. I've got a lot of these small EDC slingshots that I got into for a while. When Grateful Panic moved in, I had to take my sheet and my targets out of my doorway where I would sit on the couch, watch live streams, and plink targets from about 12 feet. And I was just deadly accurate.
That sounds like fun.
Dude, I was like a ninja.
I want to do that. That sounds like
fun. Good to see you, Satisfaction. Mad, you don't have your, do I not have our names up? Where's your name? Oh, I know why. Oh.
Nameless.
There we go. It's just when I have a Buckeyes are hairless nuts. Oh, speaking of keep my name out of your mouth, I hear Will Smith's gonna get drug into the Diddy drama.
Oh, great.
By name.
Didn't he just seem like somebody that would be involved with that?
Absolutely. I mean, to me, it's kind of freaky. It kind of goes along with everything that if you listen to people like Jim Carrey or Cat Williams or 50 Cent, these people have been saying it for 20 years.
Yeah.
You know? And yeah. They've known that Diddy liked to have a schlong in his throat from time to time. And they just didn't know, I guess, the depths of the dementia. But the wild thing is there's so many people, I think, they're going to be caught up in that. And I'm hearing just from little blurbs, and my mom kind of fills me in because she follows it, and I've told her not to because I'm sure half of it's or 3/4 of it's not true, but that there were young kids involved in weird, which makes me almost think it was ritualistic weirdness, just weird. And when I say kids, 9 to 12, which are kids with the fucking capital K.
That's bad.
And these are all coming out as plaintiffs in these litany of suits that have been dropped and starting to be unsealed. Brando's picks. What is up? What is up?
Good night, Pop.
Dude, that's awesome that you're there. I do the same thing for my dad, pretty much. That's true, Knife Nut.
It's
I mean, you want to think that it couldn't be. And Edgy, I think that to an extent too, because I expect he's gonna meet an untimely whatever before he gets a chance to talk. Yeah, there's something. I got my mom because she was in that rabbit hole and she never heard of Bohemian Grove.
Oh,
said, you've never heard of Bohemian Grove? Which I don't know anything about it. I know it's weird. I knew about it in college. I knew about it in college. We talked about it in one of our classes, a literature class, because we were talking about what's his name, and they made it sound like it was a place where closeted men and artists could go. What was his name? Tom wrote Tom Sawyer, Huckleberry Finn.
Mark Twain.
Yes.
Samuel Clemens.
Yeah, it was a Mark. Well, we were doing a thing about Mark Twain, and we talked about, I mean, like Epstein, that all that stuff. It's It's I mean, it's sick. Ashton Kutcher, I heard, was tied up in it. I mean, I think that whole Brandon very, very, very probably accurately portrayed.
Sure, where at, Brand New American?
Who was I talking to that had a freak off schedule for tomorrow?
We're gonna have a YouTube freak off right here, right now.
And let me tell you something. What he says, he's gotten a lot of shit right. He's gotten a lot of shit dead right. And I'm not going to get into it because I can't on YouTube. And
Turning the frogs gay.
But there's a lot of forces that do not want America's armed. Simple as that. And I get tired of the argument of you don't need that to deer hunt. Well, of course not. But if any ever form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it's the right of the people to alter and abolish it. Yeah, Brand New American, that's a weird fucking deal. That just shows that it was just a weird, ritualistic, strange place. But yeah, the reason that we're all armed is to keep the shit from hitting the fan and having a corrupt government do like they did before we came over here and said, fuck you. And exterminated a group of people and all that shit.
Is that what Rumble's for?
We're streaming on Rumble, by the way. Let's see if we've got any viewers.
Yeah, my first Rumble stream. Woo!
You're streaming on Rumble. Say hey to Rumble audience. I don't get Rumble chat. Unfortunately, I do not get Rumble chat. Let's see if we're streaming.
Yeah, it looks the same as YouTube almost.
It does. Let's see what we got. Hold on. We got. That's me. That's me. But I'll get views. So when I go look through my Rumble videos. Hey, what's up? So yeah, StreamYard lets you choose other places. I used to stream to Facebook, to Twitter. Why not, right? And Facebook, every time one person would share it. And so I quit streaming to Facebook because I had a feeling about that. And then Twitter did a thing to where you had to be a verified member of Twitter or you could only stream 5 minutes.
Which means now you have to pay.
Yeah, they want you to pay $4.99, $5.99 a month. I was like, screw that. Nobody's on Twitter anyway. And the only reason I do it, and for one of the reasons we did Knives Live, was I can't help but think as rich as the YouTube knife community is, that there are a lot of people that are like us that might not know it exists. So by putting it out, you never know when somebody's going to stumble across it and become not just a viewer, but somebody who likes knives. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Edgy, that's probably 100% true. I mean, it's probably 100% true. To me, it's just it's a dark place. I wouldn't want to be in LA. I've been out there for business where we actually had a show in Anaheim, but we stayed in LA, and I wouldn't wish it upon anybody. Now, there's some nice places around there, Manhattan Beach, but I wouldn't live in California if you. Drop
lives in California.
Names. There is no such thing as YouTube fame.
I don't know. You're pretty famous, John.
I've heard about Galaxy Gas, that they've got some stuff that you can buy now in certain states that's just nitrous. Like we used to get the little poppers that were like CO2 cartridges.
Yeah, like what you put in your air gun.
Yeah, and you'd put them in, you could put them in a balloon cracker, but I'd always put them in this little dispenser thing that you could put 2 into, and then you could just hold it and. But now they make these things that are called Galaxy Gas that are prepackaged, and it's just laughing gas, which to me is crazy.
I mean, it just
when I was a kid, I used to go to a pediodontist, And they used to say, "Do you want Mr. Nose when you'd have a cavity filled or something?" I was like, "Yes." Like I was 5 years old and realized that laughing gas fucking rocked.
Oh yeah.
And it's followed me around. I mean, I don't do it anymore, but like through my adult life, through dead shows and stuff, I always enjoyed some good Nashville or good nitrous.
I think when I was like 20, 21, I did a lot of that, and it would leave me with a different kind of hangover. Like I kind of feel like half, like not quite there for like a week.
Balloons is
But I
what
would
we used to get
do
on
that
tour.
just the same as anything. I do way too much of it.
Yeah, and a lot of times if you're drinking a lot too, you know, I used to get crushing drinking headaches, and I would always have to drink myself to some baseline of sobriety because I was always doing other crazy shit, but I was always doing it in a normal or quote unquote normal setting. That would just be too much chat, too much trouble. And I wouldn't slob a knob for yeah, but I mean, I think it's why people do what they do. I do it to connect with people. I do it because I don't have right now by design a very active social life. So for me, my social life is in live streams with the chat. I know that's not real, but a lot of these people like Shane, like Maddie, like Stevie, like Mad, Yako, I know now, you know, and I met a lot of these guys in person, and I know them, right? And I would have never met them had I not met them first in chat. I remember when Stevie Wonder Woman was just coming up as a guest. Shane and I were in chats together in Grateful Panic's live streams, and that's where we met said Stevie and Maddie and a lot of people. It's just wild because it's been years, and it's what keeps me active and why I do what I do. So my videos aren't produced, they're just shot, and I'm just telling you what I think about a knife.
You know, before I joined this whole community, I was kind of just hanging out. I'd always hang out over with like the age 3 audience. That was like community I was part of.
The podcast,
Yeah.
I watched that some. Ethan and his wife.
I think they're funny. I do.
I think they're funny.
I don't agree with them on everything, but I don't think you're meant to agree with anyone on everything.
Bless knives, Donnie. It's true, man. I mean, because again, when you finally see somebody in person and you hang out, you share a drink or a bowl, and you just talk about knives, and you put a face with the person that you've communicated with kind of for years. Because if y'all are like me, and most of y'all aren't, but I do spend a lot of time doing the YouTube thing because I like it. So I'm not putting out tons of content. The shorts that I put up, what's up, Amsler Knives? Good to see you, buddy. Y'all, Amsler Knives is the maker.
Maybe when I get to like 1,000 subs or something, I'll release some of my old YouTube content from 10 years ago. I made like video game, like
I'm gonna grab these
videos.
knives. They're in the video I'm doing tomorrow. Hold on one sec.
They're pretty embarrassing. People might watch them now, though. Yeah, it's been pretty great with all the people in this community. I've made a lot of friends kind of quickly. I mean, I've been around for 6 months and I've met a lot of people.
See if I get feedback. So, can you guys hear me? Can you hear me?
Yep.
This is Amsler Tools. This is an Amsler Knives pinion. And this little knife, this is his second knife. And this is a little solid piece of MagnaCut. There's also a mini. But this is a solid piece of MagnaCut. I'm about to cut with it. It's also got a little prying, kind of light prying end and a place that'll hold a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But look how sharp this thing is. It's got a tall flat grind. Can y'all see that? It is just a shredder. So I've got a video coming out tomorrow on small neck knives, kind of like my smallest fixies. And the first knife that I bought from them, and I've actually got two of these Hurricane razors. This is a mini. I think it's called the 2049. It's the mini Hurricane.
Mm-hmm.
And this particular one is MagnaCut, and it's got an 80 splatter finish on it.
Those are $125.
Dude, they're awesome.
Yes, they are.
They are, this little knife will get into anything. You can get it with a Warncliffe blade. I like the Tonto. I'm a big fan of it.
Huh.
I've also got one that's a standard that's a little bit longer in S35. But what I love about them is I rarely wear them as neck knives. I wear them like I would carry a pen in my shirt pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Straight down and right here. And it's just a great, great little knife. Both of these guys are. He killed it.
That's the Hurricane one?
Knife Eclectic, you should. Yeah, this is the Hurricane razor. And the other one is, here, I'll go to the website. Where did I put? Here's the pinion. Let's go to the Instagram. And then we will break out of here because Batty's about to go live.
Oh, okay.
Hold on 1 second. I do want to pull this up first.
S35 VN.
All right.
Those are nice.
Let me tell you something, man. They are great little knives. That's the standard right there, I believe.
That would be something appealing even to people that aren't into knives at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great tool. Here are the little pinions.
It's like,
Or,
well,
excuse
do you
me.
want to carry something that's useful like a knife? Because it is a knife, but you don't want to appear to be carrying a knife.
Yeah, you want something that you can cut boxes open with, or you can cut paracord, a small little knife. I mean, they're fantastic. And the Hurricanes, the way that this is like a ballpoint pen, it just carries in your shirt pocket like a champ.
It's great.
Like, look right here. These are two Warncliffes.
Oh, okay.
So I'm going to drop that in the chat, and y'all should definitely go check out Amsler Tools. He's going to join us on a Friday night, hopefully, here very soon. But guys, I appreciate all of y'all coming and hanging out. I appreciate Mad Yako for coming and hanging out with us.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Dude, anytime. I enjoyed it. And like I said, when I do the random 24-hour glutton for punishment stream, I'll reach out to a bunch of you guys and we'll get a crew here. Just don't leave me laden all night. And Knife Eclectic, dude, finish that. But the first thing to do, because it's been 3 hours, and I always get something to eat before you guys go live. You guys go live in 45 minutes, right?
You got to get the Mexican pizza.
Yeah, don't you see? I don't know if I'm going to go get a Mexican pizza because usually when I do that, I go to sleep. But you never know. I might.
I do like those Mexican pizzas.
They're so good, dude. And that new green sauce they've got, it is awesome. But Knife Eclectic, all you got to do is put your camera down the way you want it, shoot your video, talk, be you, and you'll do great. I hear you, brother. That'll give me time to pee, get something to eat.
Thank you, Pocket Razors.
I could hang a little longer, but I do have to pee, and I have to do that anyway. So, guys, y'all do me a favor, and please, please, please look out for the dude to your left and the chick. Look out for the guy and the girl to your right. Look out for each other. Go forward with love in your heart. Mad, you got anything?
I love you guys, and I thank you for all the support all the way from the beginning to the end. And I'll be here, and hopefully you'll all be there for the rest of this journey. Peace.
See you guys. Peace.